thing going on because we're stuck between traditionalism and like new age tech at the same time, and like the insta click people,
Yep.
insta loan, insta life, insta
Yep.
car, insta this, insta that, insta people, insta dating. And millennials are stuck between that traditional and insta click people, and it's causing a lot of issues because we don't know what to do,
It's
you
very
know.
Nietzschean, and it's nihil. It just it feeds nihilism big time. I think
Mhm.
just a hopelessness.
Um, Define nihilism. Like,
Uh, like empty nothingness. Like there's nothing to live for, nothing to die for, nothing to care about. It's all about yourself, and then no moral foundation exists because of it.
um, no, I think millennials were a take back generation. We chose to take back, um, like we chose to take back. I do think there's a self centered element, yes, but in the light of like we are the mental health group, we are the parents, all of our parents got divorced group, and we're not approving of it. We're the we say no a lot more. We've established a lot of boundaries, and we're like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to be compliant. I don't give a shit. And we're the people that said no to traditions because we don't think that they're applicable to us, and we don't have any heartfelt meaning to it, right? We're just not forcing ourselves to do shit that we don't want to do.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be back real quick. I'm talking to someone about my channel. I'll be right back.
Okay.
There, go away, go away. We're
It's
fine. You
important.
sat and
Take care of
talked
it.
for the last 3 fucking hours, Rob. Anyways, and I do have a full panel sitting backstage. We're gonna bring them all up. Sage, if you can give me a quick cam up back. Al Weiner, you. Marte, you're here. Um, Hall Long is backstage as well, and Spyro's still ready too as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that we hit a point where we're like, no, no, and no, no, just no. And we said no, and we meant it, and I think that makes a big differentiator between us and other generations.
That's fair. I
Yeah,
would agree with that.
yeah, I think it's fair. And then, of course, your time was bought up by Base Tweaker. That's why you got all that time added onto the timer. And I'm sorry, Rob had to step away for a minute for the last few minutes. I hope I was sufficient enough to
You,
fill in.
of
I
course.
know, I know I don't have the beard, and I know I don't have the knowledge, but I hope I was a good fill in nonetheless.
It was a good
And
chat.
and Hall Long sends in a happy birthday, Rob. Yes, we are officially grifting for Rob this evening. He had some issues with his channel earlier. Some shit got shut down. I don't know how. I don't know why it doesn't make sense because specifically, Rob and I were dual streaming the same exact thing, and he got shut down, and I did not. So
I
that
think he had
actually
haters
pisses
reporting him.
that yeah something that actually pisses me off because like I think maybe Rob just had like I know when you're in a sensitive position you're more flaggable.
Yep.
um and I'm very gracious to the idea that because I'm a moderator, people aren't always mad at me. But I think Rob has already had issues before, so that probably was just an insta trigger. Barbareth with the big 20. Haha, the hubby is asleep. Catch up, Sarah. Cheers. And cheers to you, Barbareth. We love you. I'm so glad your husband is sleeping right now. Please feel free to continue sending more, and just know that you might have to explain it tomorrow, but not tonight. You don't have to explain it tonight. That's all that counts. And Jordan with the big 5 says, come on over to Orthodoxy, Abe. Sola Scriptura ain't defensible when getting into it. Wish you all the best in this foundational field. That was very kind.
Yes, thanks, Jordan.
Only Mr. Bill says, admit it, Sarah, you are a big fan of the Newsboy. What's the Newsboys?
The Newsboys Band. It's a Christian rock band.
Nope, don't know 'em. Stochastic Decay. Did I say that right? I've been drinking.
Yeah. Stochastic. Yeah.
Fair enough. Says, funny, Abe subscribes to the religion that's
Seceded.
Okay. I was like, is that spelled wrong?
It's a joke about the fact that Lincoln federalized everything, but Protestants away from, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I think I have everybody backstage. Sage. Well, you'll have to come back another night. A lot of people say that and then they end up flashing, and we just don't take risks here because we don't want to get things nuked. So come back another night, Sage. All right, let's have some fun. We're going to go into full grift mode. It's now 1 a.m. We're going to go into full grift mode, but I'm going to bring everybody on so we can like really grift for fun, crazy shit. Y'all know how we do it. Here we go.
Are you guys able to hear me? Is there too much background noise?
And let me start this off. Number one, you guys have less than 3 minutes to fulfill that 10 goal super chat goal that needs to be fulfilled. You only have 3 in. I gave you 30 minutes and you only gave 3 on that one. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Slackers.
You know, if you want DGen Power Hour, you got to push it. You got 2 minutes now to hit those. You got 7 more goals to get that super chat goal. Remember, Rob and I are splitting the bag tonight. Rob got shut down this evening. It's unacceptable. I'm very upset. We're splitting the bag. You gotta send in $5 or more to hit the goal. But we are splitting the bag tonight. So please make sure just send a bunch of money right now. $5. Just if 7 of you each send $5, we can keep going for DGen Power Hour. Get it going. Go now. Go fast. Hurry. You can send the Cash App too. I'll accept that and apply it to the goal. But holy shit, I didn't think I'd have to tell you guys this because you've been doing so great all night. Even if you send in just to say happy birthday, Rob, I don't care. Or shut the fuck up, Sarah. Boot Sarah for the night. I don't care. Just send $5. Whatever it is, get the goal. You got 6 more to go. Paige sending in, we must go on. Sarah and her wine glass demand it. Not one step back. No, absolutely. You guys have purchased my liquor endeavors for the evening. Thank you so kindly. 1 to Abe and 1 to
Thank
Jess.
you.
Appreciate that.
This show is driven. This show is driven by capitalism and not socialism. So start donating, folks.
That's right.
Give
Hit
this
the
woman your
dono.
money.
Matriarchy versus patriarchy, and so far the matriarchy won because Rob got shut down as soon as we started. I won by default.
That was so jacked up.
That's not fair, Sarah. That's not fair.
You got 30 seconds. You're almost there. You just need 2 more, 1 more.
All right, she's gone. She put me in charge right now. Gentlemen, well, she's gone since I've known her a while. I'm the moderator now. And what are we talking about, gentlemen? One at a time. What would you gentlemen like to speak about?
Women suck. Oh crap! Sorry.
Somehow I exited myself from the panel. I don't know what I did. I swear I didn't even click anything.
Was that you, Spiro?
Kicked yourself.
Yes, Spiro's over there doing he's like, fuck this bitch.
I don't know. What did I say? That's crazy. Jeez.
Hey guys, is there too much background noise on my mic?
No, you are perfectly fine. There's nothing coming through on the feed.
You're good.
Except for
Thank
your
you.
lovely voice. All right,
Sarah, Sarah, I filled in for you while you were gone for a minute. I filled in for you.
Oh, thank you,
Oh, failed
Nicole,
in. You
for your
failed in or
kindness.
you filled in.
Let's get back to the grift because everybody has listen. Yeah, I banned myself. I kicked myself off. I don't even know what the hell. My internet has been struggling all night, and so have I because I've been drinking. So it was either internet or
Ooh.
somehow I clicked a button. I don't know, but it like completely kicked me out of StreamYard altogether. So it wasn't even just putting myself backstage; it completely booted me from StreamYard.
It
Um,
was perfect timing because it's just you said one more dong.
and then dong, and then I'm gone. They're like, "Shut up, bitch." Patriarchy,
Sarah,
what? Lobster sends
Sarah,
in the big five and says, driving. Well, shout out to you, Lobster. We love you. Thanks for the five. Jason Cassell sends another five. He sponsored a whole bunch earlier. I think it was $9, $10 super chats. It could have been 10. I could have miscounted, but he's a big supporter. And remember, half of this goes to Rob. Harry Ludwig with the big five says, boot, Sarah. I'll boot myself after I finish the grifts, and I'll give you guys 5 minutes without me. Even though I've been
okay.
quiet all
Right,
fucking night. I don't know why you boot me to the
It was
back.
just,
Keep getting drunk.
Well,
Sarah,
gee,
keep getting drunk. I like when you get
yeah,
drunk. You're
most
funny when
people
you're
do.
drunk.
Most people do. Jason with the big five, just to say, shut the fuck up, Spicoli. Abe Deacon sends two. Thank you so much. But he also sent in a big 50 earlier just to pop another bottle open for me. So
Whoa.
shout out to you, Abe. K2, keep on track with the big five, says, coom. And then, of course, Step for three sends in a big 20, says, Rob's the man. Yes, we all love
Yeah.
Rob. He is awesome. All right, gentlemen, I'm putting myself
Yes.
backstage for 5 minutes.
Okay.
You better
Can I
keep the
talk?
grift going. Yeah, go. Well,
I will.
listen, Spicoli, listen. We already had one shutdown this evening. We're all pretty bummed about it, and Rob's having to deal with that kind of shit. So keep it clean.
I will keep it clean. I will
Keep
take.
it on
I
point.
promise.
yeah,
Yes.
Don't fuck this
totally.
up, Spicoli. I love you.
No, I won't. I won't. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, you heard what she said. Since I've known her 3 years, I guess
Okay,
I'm the
women suck
moderator now.
again.
Now,
Women suck. All women
no,
suck.
no. Let me make a statement. No. Wait.
Was
You
you?
cannot talk over me.
To my
Before you guys
understanding,
go.
Okay, Sarah's an exception.
woman sucking
Sarah's
was
an
never a
exception.
bad thing.
Okay, Sarah's
Women
an
sucking was
All
never
right.
a bad thing.
And now Sarah's not the
Wait.
exception. She sucks again. She sucks. Right?
Let me make a statement. Please don't talk over me. Let me make a statement. All you YouTube creators that are getting donations through ad money and YouTube chat, don't forget you have to pay taxes on that money because they're going to 1099 you. So, if you make whatever it matters.
Hey, Marte.
What's going on, buddy? How's it going?
Yeah.
Everybody else, Abe, I know we talked earlier, Spyro, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spyro too. Yeah, I know Spyro.
Each of
Yeah,
the last time each one of you, I want to know when each one of you got laid, and I want to know honestly,
oh,
I haven't been laid in 6
I have a wife today.
Yeah, today is
Hey, Spicoli.
Up with a comb, buddy.
Spicoli.
Yeah.
All right, I got one for you. I'm a single guy. I'm a trucker. Last relationship I was in was 5 years ago. So it's been
Yes.
5 years and 6 months.
shit.
I can
Yeah.
beat you.
Shit.
Okay, but that's I no, but I take it that no, but you're not an incel. I take it that you could get laid, you just don't want to, obviously, right? That's the thing, right?
Right.
No,
Well, I
was
decided a long time ago that it was just not worth playing in that puddle, given the quality of the fish around. I'm not trying to go for a carp. I want a good brown trout.
No, brother.
Well, you're better. In other words, you want a unicorn. You want a unicorn. Unicorns don't exist. Even
Yeah,
Sarah's not.
rainbow fucking
Even Sarah-
unicorn.
Even Sarah's not a unicorn. But when you get Sarah boozed up enough, she's fun. But she's not quite the unicorn. Sarah's close to a unicorn.
Well, what is
Not
it?
quite
What is it
there.
you're assuming I'm? What is it you're assuming I'm looking for? I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking for. I'm
What are
looking
you
for a
looking
woman who
for? 38,
I
single mom, blonde, green eyes, funny sometimes, but women really aren't funny, and she admits it.
you to care about me, Sarah.
Yeah.
I need a woman who can not slip on a phallic object every time I leave the house.
No,
Ew.
brother.
Those are impossible to find
You
these
sound
days.
tainted, good sir. You sound tainted and jaded.
Should
Yeah.
Well,
Sarah
you know,
would never. Sarah fits that category.
I
Sarah
know some
definitely
people you
fits
could
that
talk to.
category.
By the way, long haul. My dad, or haul long. My dad was a long haul driver. Sometimes he'd go away for like 2 weeks at a time. That's hard work. That ain't easy, man. So shout out to you for that.
Oh,
let me
thanks.
ask you this.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But do you have no? But let me ask you a quick question because I have to go. I have to take care of some business. Let me ask
Gotta
you
take a
this.
shit.
No, if I was a truck driver, cross whatever area I went to, I would have a chick, like a few chicks in different locations that I would fuck. So do you have chicks like a sailor? Do you have different women in different ports, so to speak?
No.
We don't want to hear about your
No,
endeavors.
because that's basically just grabbing different carp from different ponds. It's still the same thing.
You're making the situation worse for everyone. If you're out there deflowering all these women, and then you complain that women aren't clean and pure for you, then you're deflowering them.
All right, I have a question for Sarah before I leave. Sarah, wait, hold on.
Can you hear?
I don't mean to interrupt. Sarah, when is Mardi Gras?
February.
When is Mardi Gras?
It's February.
Okay. So we're past Mardi Gras, but this is an inside joke. I'm off to buy beads tomorrow, and it's not for Mardi Gras, Sarah.
Oh my!
I'm buying beads.
Darn, Spicoli, somebody booted you. Sorry, we love you. Bye.
Hold on.
Catfish there.
I know what that truck driver wants. He wants a lot lizard from the Loves. They're a little bit high quality.
Yeah, and I don't like.
Yeah, Loves are the higher quality ones. Ugh. If I wanted women like that, I'd go back to one of my exes.
Oh man.
Rob.
I knew it.
So through an intermediary, we were talking to a YouTube
Oh
rep,
boy.
and they do not think it violated the YouTube's firearm policy. They think it was some sort of like robotic review or whatever. So I think we've taken steps that they're supposed to be reaching out to me in the next 15 minutes and ask me to submit a couple things, and then they're going to try to take care of it. But weirdly enough, it didn't give me a strike. It actually I don't know. It's like almost screwing up, like it's saying that I've reached my daily limit of live streams. But YouTube, the rep's a little concerned because they can't figure out why I wouldn't be allowed to live stream it. So on their end, they're like, we can't figure this out. So tag it for a manual review, type exactly this, and then we'll see what we could do. So
You're going to be
it's
fine.
no big deal. For this point, we're at 1 a.m. Not that I'm ready to go to bed or anything, but as long as I could live stream like in the coming days, that's fine. 24, 48.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
Those are AI
headphones
automated things, and they tend to go wrong. So yeah, you're going to be okay.
It could be anything. It could be that I was talking to Spiro, talking shit about AI, and they're like, "Screw that Spiro guy."
You know what, Rob? You know what, Rob? Okay, listen. I don't think you guys know. First of all, it's pronounced Agrilepolis. It's Greek, so give her $20.
Yeah.
Second of all, Sarah the Raging Tomato is just a typo for Sarah the Irish Potato. That's why Andrew loves it so much. And third of all, for some reason or another, because of what Rob was saying earlier, I decided to go out and get some fried chicken because I just felt like it. They gave me a drink with a plastic straw, and I thought to myself, if they ban plastic straws, is this the first step to outline conservative oral traditions? And fourth of all, I am not joking. I'm not joking. This whole time, I have seriously, if I could pull the screen, I would show you. I have seriously been reading the Senate intelligence reports, the DOJ reports, and the FBI reports on Russian collusion. I'm at volume 5. I'm ready to tangle with you, Rob. I'm ready for a real debate.
Shit.
We're going to go, brother. We're going to go.
I'm very
Jason is blaming Andrew or Mr. E for the strike issue.
It's not. Look,
it's
look.
Mr. E.
It can't be.
It's mystery. It's definitely mystery because I'm not going to get into the details, but I was doing something to help the Crucible the other day, and mystery was like, "Damn, that's you did something real good. You might be in line for Employee of the Month." Exactly. Now all of a sudden this happens, Mr. E. We're well aware of what's going on.
We're on to you.
Mystery, Mr. E.
That's right.
I'm thinking it's the feminism influence on the AI. It heard Rob's strong, manly conversation, and then mirrored by the old Western tough guy. It's a nope, toxic. Ding him.
Rob was trying to take down the
but
matriarchy.
It doesn't hit Sarah. Sorry, Sarah. Go ahead.
No, Rob was trying to take down the matriarchy. I was trying to take down the patriarchy. So AI said, "Girls rule, boys rule." Like I said,
feminist.
It shot him down before 3 minutes into the freaking show.
It heard there was a challenge.
Now, presumably everything gets worked out and everything's fine. This is going to be one of my fucking favorite stories of streaming on YouTube. That 3 minutes into our competition, patriarchy versus matriarchy, I get my ass kicked as royally as possible. It won't be so funny if I never get my channel back. It won't be so funny then. But as it stands, I'm hoping it'll work out. So
please send more donos. I have to split mine in half to help support the patriarchy.
Listen. One of the things I'm always arguing against is government handouts and socialism. So it's with great shame I say, please, Sarah, please send me more donations that you're receiving. I can't do it myself,
Rob.
Sarah. I need a handout. You
But
know?
Rob, this actually couldn't have happened on a more perfect night because we already planned on splitting it down the middle. So it's like, oh, well, fuck it. Your stream went out. That's fine. We'll just do it here and life's good. We're moving on. You're still like, the work is in, the day is set, and you're still going to get paid by a girl.
See, here's the sad part, Rob. Wait till you tally up everything over on the Rumble side because you may end up owing Sarah.
That's true. Now, just so you know, our man Jess Gerald donated $357 to me on Rumble. So he threw it out there.
Yeah. Look at that. That's
and he was like,
well, and I was.
Don't tell that bastard Sarah about this money.
Right?
Whatever you do.
I was going pretty heavy on there for the first 20 minutes of the stream. So yeah, it was. You may end up owing Sarah still.
Yeah.
Damn that socialism.
Yeah, I think I might have. Believe it or not, I think.
Oh wait. Is Courtney is your wife Courtney?
Yes, my wife is Courtney. What's she saying? She yeah.
I think she's
wow, the truth comes out. Yeah, the truth comes out.
It was
take it easy, Sarah.
Yeah, it's now listen, in the words of Dean Withers, my wife doesn't smoke a vape.
Yes.
She smokes an anxiety pen, right? Like that's so
it's not a vape.
Yeah.
It's an anxiety
You're bullying me over
pen.
something I do not do.
It was so funny.
Oh my god! I was sad when I saw that clip. Somebody else was it Sarah Fields? I think posted like the video, and she was like, "What the fuck?" And I watched it. I was like,
Holy
seriously?
crap.
Like, just own it. It's okay. Like, why?
I've been calling mine that ironically
Like, well,
all week.
If it's an anxiety pen, it ain't working.
That's right. Yeah. Do we have any lefties on the panel right now? Like, why are these people so neurotically insane? You know, I wish we need a sane lefty like Duck to come in here and tell us like how he keeps so grounded. You know,
Well, I'm technically a feminist.
But in all honesty, that clip is just batshit crazy. It's like, I don't understand. Even Duck, like sometimes you'll say shit, and I'm sure you've noticed this, Sarah. Again, Duck, if you're listening, I'm not talking shit. But like someone will say something like, you know, like it could be something so benign, like, you know, I don't know. Actually, I think maybe they should raise the salt limit, you know, salt deduction another 5%. And Duck will be like, that's the most offensive fucking shit I've ever heard. How could you ever suggest something like that? And I'll just be sitting there like, What did I miss? Like, what the fuck happened here? Oh, that's Dean Withers. Like, vape? You called this a fucking vape? It's
That's
like,
why.
what?
That's why you guys had the topic. They all have a mental illness.
Yeah, right.
It's like what? It's got to be true. Like
it's the neuroticism that comes as a result of that savior complex.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Right?
And just so you know,
exactly what it
I
is.
have Norwegian Dan backstage waiting to get on screen. You know what to do,
Oh, I
Chad.
can
If you
drop
want
for-
Norwegian Dan, shut up! Don't volunteer to drop, you dimwit. For the Grift, you know what to do. If you want to drop somebody who happens to be willing to be dropped, go ahead, send it in, kick them off. I don't care. Lord, I hate it when people do that. I'm like, you know what to do, chat. And they're like, I'll go, and I'm like, no.
I only came up to give that lot lizard comment.
It was a good one.
Well,
just
hey,
dropping
two. Now you
bombs,
have
though.
to stay until somebody pays to boot you.
Yep. It's the rules.
Oh
You
man,
quit, you lose.
How
You quit,
that
you
be?
lose.
I was just being polite. I was just
Yep.
being polite and waiting to make my exit, but okay.
Nope.
I bet of all like sort of panel debate type shows going on right now, we have a highest percentage of truckers that are on stream other than any fucking channel out there, which is awesome. Like we'll take it, man.
I think my flashlight
Hell yeah.
is gonna catch on fire. It's smoking.
There it is.
There it is, K2.
You got what you wanted.
Say bye,
Yeah.
K2.
Sweet. Rage quit.
Rage quit.
Rage quit.
Bye.
You quit, you lose. You quit, you lose.
What's up?
Damn.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm too new. Nobody knows me well enough to kick me yet.
Dave wants to know what % of soy protein is in Dean's pen. I don't think it's. I think it's probably mommy's milk. Honestly, at this point.
Well, see, so I've got a question about all that. With all the crazy flavors that there are with those vapes and stuff, is it possible that Dean's pen is flavored slippery nipple, like the shot?
Oh.
See, that's
There is such a thing.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't vape.
No, it's peach schnapps, vodka, and
No.
is it triple sec? I think.
No. Oh.
Yeah, I know it's
Triple
peach schnapps,
sec.
'cause this is why I hate. This is why I hate the butter. It's a buttery nipple because there's peach schnapps in it. I hate peach schnapps.
Yeah.
Any type. It
Well,
tastes like cat litter to me.
Right, and it's got a cream on the top. It's got a cream on the top for the nipple part. So
Here it goes, Emmett. And the only person I have backstage now is Jason Cassell.
It's a
joke. I
but-
had a debate today, and I called myself Demetor, and I took
Yeah, we
the
debated
persona
today,
of a
and he
wrestler.
was
Fair enough.
WWF.
Well, either way, somebody else is coming up. Sit backstage, hang out. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Sarah. How you doing?
Wonderful. Thanks for all of your fun donos earlier. That made me a happy tomato. I appreciate that.
No problem. No problem.
so many
I like
vapes will be bought with that money. Now listen, I almost got away with it too, because normally my wife could see at the end of the night how much I made, but tonight it's like, oh shit, my channel got canceled. I guess I'm shit out of luck. But no, she's on your chat and she can see everything, so I'm screwed. Straight to the vape man tomorrow. So
Courtney messaged me. I'll tell you exactly how much we made tonight. Just check Rob's Cash App later when we're done, because. And Jess says the big daddy says, Dean Withers, I'm not sucking up, I'm soothing an oral fixation.
Totally.
so
Totally.
That is the thing for the vapors. Is it an oral fixation? Is it an anxiety?
totally.
And
Totally.
what is it?
Yeah, it's an oral fixation. It's a habit that you're used to, and yeah, totally.
Do you like things orally?
Yeah.
Well, I smoke
Sound like a
cigarettes.
professional on that one.
Okay,
Oh,
Sarah, don't get carried away with it.
Took him a second, didn't it? It took him a second. That's okay. All right. So, Rob, I know you and I determined that around the 1 o'clock hour we would go into full grift mode, but I figured since there were more people waiting backstage, I'd bring everybody up and we can all grift together and have some fun on open panel. So we have some options. We can set timers. We can go into speed dating. We can do I don't know, spend a bunch of money. Keep going.
I say Rob's choice, birthday boy, Rob's choice.
It is
Dibs on Rob.
Rob's
Date me
birthday.
on Russia.
And I will say,
Happy birthday,
forced
Rob. I
them,
didn't know.
kudos to the chat because they had 3 minutes. I was watching the goal look, I'm drunk at this point. I was watching the goal and I realized we had 3 minutes left, and I said, "You have 7 super chats to go before that dono goes completed, and we go into DGen Power Hour at 1 a.m." So they did it. They came through. This was all while you're on the phone. The chat made up for it. They fixed it. They said, "Let's keep on going." So we absolutely have purchased the next hour. However, this is a Grift stream. We don't stop here, do we, Rob?
No. So I'm one of the most unoriginal grifting thinkers you've ever imagined. So what I usually do around this time of night is I just put up a timer and I'm like, okay, 2.5 minutes and we're done, right? Any donation of $5 or more will reset the clock. And then whoever gives the last donation wins for their side. So in this case, if it's a lady or someone who wants to advocate for the sake of the matriarchy, then the matriarchy would win. If it's a man or someone advocating for the patriarchy, they would win. And then you just go every 2.5 minutes, you reset the timer. That's it. That's my only idea. That'll keep me through the next 10 years of interesting ideas I've had. So
I think that's a good one. That's a good one. I need to let's see. I need to figure out a way. I'm gonna set up the layout and get the timer on, and we can do like either a girls dono or a boys dono, a patriarchy dono, matriarchy dono, Sarah dono, Rob dono. I don't give a fuck. Just differentiate between the two, and the last and final super chat when the timer ends will be the winner that declares all for the evening. So hopefully we can keep this going. Let's start at 5 minutes. We'll start there because they did already buy this hour. So we'll start at 5 minutes. And then once we hit 2 a.m., which is 30 minutes from now, then we'll Tweaker, you're freaking me the fuck out. Can you sit still for fuck's sake?
I got you.
He could do it.
Sit. Good boy. Okay. I'm sorry, but it's like
no, I
he's
get
like
it.
you
I
know
get
he's
it.
like a lot of stuff like that.
Trust me, I get it. I'm not offended by it at all.
He was freaking me out too. He's just sitting there rocking back and forth, smiling at everybody. Kind of creepy.
I'm driving through a city and you're somehow moving around more than me.
Tweaker, you've been in the debate community, so people
I'm 34 years old. If you don't think I'm not used to it by now, I'm pretty used to it.
I will even say my favorite thing is to watch a debate on 2 times speed, and that tells you exactly who the fuck the person is and where their antsy moments are when they get nervous, because it's faster paced when it's on 2x, and you notice things a lot faster. It's fun.
Debate prep. There you go.
I'll tell you a quick debate story, policy debate in college. People did that shit a lot. They'd rock back and forth while they're talking because you're talking like an auctioneer so fast. So we would have, if you had a round off, you'd watch your teammate that was on a different team and then give them advice. This is what I noticed. So my roommate was not my debate partner, but he was a debater. He watched me one round, and you be talking fast. You ain't paying attention to the crazy shit you're doing. And I asked him, I was like, hey, got any advice for that last round? And he's like, well, there's one thing. And I was like, what? He's like, you constantly fondle your penis while you're talking. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man, you just are going to town. And I was fucking mortified because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I didn't know it. I was like, oh. So like the rest of the day, I'm like debating like shit because in the back of my head, I'm like, I got to keep my hands like a robot, like up like this. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And then we're at dinner later that night. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm so glad you told me that. I had no idea. He's like, dude, I'm just fucking with you. You didn't do that. Like, I was just messing with you. So
That's one way to win the debate.
Like 6 hours of debate, I debated like this because I was like, I got to keep my hands above my waist. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And it was all bullshit. So, yeah,
just because it's
don't
all
feel
over
bad,
the chat,
Tweaker. You know,
it's probably
Don't feel bad, Tweaker, for
Rob. Is that how you win all the debates?
Nope.
I have
damn right.
Asperger's. So.
The lefties love that shit. So it was good eye candy, you know.
Oh, Lord.
Degens been degens.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna fiddle with some stuff while you guys talk. It's I have to fiddle.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm a little.
Nope, I got it. Nope, I got it. It went through. I thought it didn't go through, but it went through. Okay, life's good. So do you all see the little 5-minute timer at the top of my head?
Yeah, we see
All right. Okay, good. All right, so that's there. And then of course I will start the timer here shortly, and then we'll I'll start it at the 30-minute marker at 1:30 a.m. and we'll start the 5 minutes, and that's when you, the chat, get to determine, and that's when we'll kick off to say, who really won this show. Was it the girls? Was it the guys? Was it the patriarchy? Was it the matriarchy? Was it Rob? Was it Sarah? I mean, honestly, Rob did a lot of the work. I sat here and got drunk.
You guys got this wrong. Have you ever heard of the study of the rats playing together and how the bigger rats have to let the smaller rats win every once in a while? Otherwise, the smaller rats don't play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The women are the smaller rats. Men always win.
Debate over. That's bullshit. Now that's sort of true, but not really, because like when I'll play this game on my channel, like amongst the top 6 people are Sara, Jess White, and Kissy Cat. Right? Mm-hmm. They crush it. And then, the best I've ever done on one single stream was because Kissy Cat and William Kramer Jr. decided to get into a pissing match where they started off donating $100 a piece and ended up donating $2,000 a piece. In one of the most sheer acts of pettiness I've ever seen, donating $2,000 to win an online argument. But just so the audience understands, if you send in at least a $5 donation, the clock resets. Right. Mm-hmm. And so whoever gives the last donation at the end of the night when the clock runs out, and then we'll up the ante later tonight if Sarah's cool with that.
Yep. And Fredo Fonzarelli sends in a big 10 on Cash App and says, happy birthday, Big Bobby. Also, hi, Sarah. Thank you, Fredo. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, our Cash Apps are open and available to your beck and call. We will read them out as they come in happily. But yeah, K2 I'm sorry. Actually, Rock E. Shepherd said, kick the Sun guy. He got booted and Emmett got brought back up. Sorry, Sun guy. You're back there until somebody decides to revive you. K2 keep on trucking sends a big 5. Boys only, no girls allowed. Sarah. Oh, shit. Okay.
Damn.
Rob, you're going to have to carry.
As long as you're running the clock. All right, so whenever you're ready, run the clock. Now it's just the men. Oh, there's Mr. Bill Tweaker, I believe, does that because of autism. Yeah, it's Asperger's. Who gives a shit? We're equal communicator, like destroyers here. We don't give a shit. We'll make fun of you for your illness. We don't care.
I'm fine. Right.
All right, so the clock is running. So what do you think? I think who gave me the best challenge tonight? I thought it was pretty good. Spirit was good. Evan was good. Grid was good. Duck's always fantastic amongst.
I didn't hear a lot of disagreement from you on mine.
Yeah, it's true. I agree. I disagree.
I think I think the most disagreement you had was actually with Spiro.
Yeah, probably true. Now Spiro put that super chat in the other day. On the Andrew Wilson panel, and then unfortunately the way the open panels go, oftentimes the super chat's just kind of read and then back to Fatty yelling about Andrew's nuts or some shit, whatever he was talking about the other night. By the way, Marte, excellent job, man, on that debate the other night. I thought you guys crushed it.
Yeah, Fatty was being a jackass at the end, and I had to tie him up because he said America was vacant at the end, and he just stuffed his over himself. He accuses you.
Fix your audio, Marte.
Being the same thing he is himself.
Oh, I think you're on the wrong mic.
I think you're using the wrong mic, Marte. But yeah, you're right. And Fatty that's like what I said before I left was Fatty was the perfect person to give that dude you guys were debating advice because that person also was coping about losing a debate, and no one does that better than Fatty. He is a professional at losing debates and then coping about it. So
yeah, that shit was crazy.
You're really soft. It sounds more clear, but really soft. So try to up the gain or the volume a little.
Gotcha, I can do that right now. Can you hear me now? Kind of.
Yeah, still a little quiet, but
it's quiet, but we can hear you.
Sounds like you're on the wrong
I'm
mic.
just trying to fix this. But anyways, like I was saying, Fatty stumbles over himself a lot. He caught himself in a conundrum because he was saying that if you walk into a house that's vacant, which we compared it to a vacancy of America with no natives at the end when we tangled up together. And he just ends up being the same thing that he accuses other people of doing and being bad faith all the time. Most of the time, yes, for sure.
So I remind everyone, a donation of at least $5 to reset the clock. You're enjoying this fantastic content. Never will you find 9 more handsome men in one panel together. So unless you want to leave this eye candy go, someone's got to donate $5 to reset the clock. But yeah, Fatty's problem is this, right? Like, so I will be the first to admit, Andrew Wilson's debate strategy sometimes could be very annoying and difficult to deal with because sometimes it can be what the common person would consider over semantical. But I think that there we go. Naughty Germ comes in with $5. Sarah, if you can hear us, reset the clock. All right, Sarah's on top of it. But in that debate, as I said previously, it's warranted because when you're talking about philosophical concepts like morality, you have to define terms. It's inevitable. But anyways, it's the same shit that happened when Andrew Wilson debates Destiny on insurrection, and then I debate him afterwards. Because Destiny's big pissing comment, oh, but he didn't define insurrection. I'm like, fine, I'll do it. I'll define insurrection. Now let's take the debate forward from there. Same with Fatty. Oh, Andrew has to define all these words. I'm like, okay, Fatty, I'll give you exactly what you want. Here you go. Now, how do you view this through your worldview? And he's like, define the term land, define the term the. And it's like, yeah, go fuck yourself, man. And that's what I said when Fatty came in. He is exactly what he accuses others of. I'm not saying he's a bad dude or anything, but that's exactly what he's doing.
All right, does anybody here actually think that Fatty's a good debater?
No. Now, having said that, I've only seen him like 3 or 4 times. Maybe he's good at debating, like, you know,
well,
the best.
You debated him, right? You did a debate with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was not good on it either.
I think he's good at conversation, but he's not good at debate.
Right. Mr. Bill, $5 resets the clock. Always great to hear. By the way, one thing I think Sarah will agree with me in this, we're always trying as a community to help other people out. So I know that there are people that have channels that are here right now. Abe Dinkus, go check his channel out on YouTube. And only a Mr. Bill that just came in there. Anyone else too. What we're trying to do is, as a community, have people that are more like-minded actually thrive. My personal goal is I want to choke out these fucking lefties in every single aspect. So I want our streamers that only have 5 people watching to outdistance their streamers that only have 5. And our streamers like Andrew or Sarah that could have hundreds, if not thousands of people watching, I would like them to outperform the people that are their contemporaries on the left as well. So,
well, Rob, you got to be careful, though, because if you start, you know, if you get rid of all the leftists, you guys keep winning, it's going to cause a problem. You're going to win the debate.
Oh, no. There's always going to be a line of leftists ready to jump up and try and prove you that if you only did socialism their way.
That's true, yeah, because it's never been done right.
There's some truth in that, though. But that's why you devastate someone, but then you always bring it back at the end of the night. Appreciate your comment, right? Like Radical Coder would debate me any day. That Devon guy, the first time I was on Sarah's panel, right? And he comes in and we're going at each other. By the end of it, he's like, oh, I like talking to you. Let me talk to you again. That's a skill, to be able to beat someone in a debate, but have them enjoy themselves, right? And it's no joke. Like it actually is rhetorically effective as well, especially for their audience. What you want is their audience to either hate you, which is good, or to say, you know what, I disagree with that guy, but I'd be willing to hear him out. Those are the 2 things I'm going for. What I don't want is to be forgotten. So, you know.
Well, Matt H says, challenge to Rob, 60 days to read 3 books of my choosing. Reward $1,000. I want to make Rob literate. Would you accept?
I will under one condition, well, 2 conditions. It can't be like grotesque pornography, which I don't think you would do that. And it has to be in English. But other than that, I'm game. I would
Fair
definitely
enough.
do that.
I wish somebody would challenge me to read 3 fucking books in 60 days. I'll read.
Dude, I've read literally fucking hundreds of books this year before anyone challenges my literacy. Now, almost all of them are made of cardboard and they're like 4 pages. But hey, a book's a book, right? Like that doesn't matter. My son's happy with it, so you know.
Rob, are you talking about picture books? You read the picture books?
There's some words. There's a few words on each page. You know,
Sam I Am and the Cat in the Hat don't count.
Hungry Caterpillar. Yeah, that's a good
one. The golden rule is just a classic library.
Yeah, the golden books or whatever. Yeah.
Rob, when you reset the timer, if it's a $20 Cash App, do you reset longer?
I never do. The only rule I ever instituted, because sometimes people get out of control, is that if you give at least a $200 donation, then you're winning for the night unless someone equals or increases that. But a $5 donation will still reset the timer.
All right. Well, Draco sends a big 20 on Cash App and says, "Happy birthday, Rob and America."
Thank you. One of the topics that I wanted to talk about was, before I die, July 4th will be known more for being my birthday than America's.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Badass.
I think it's possible.
Badass goal.
Yeah. You spend most of your time arguing about America, so I feel like that's kind of a redundant statement.
And I figure if all things, never mind. I already got in trouble on YouTube. I'm not going to invoke. Never mind. I was going to say notoriety sometimes can.
Better watch it. Mr. E's watching.
That's right, that bastard. Yeah.
We're gonna refederalize it under Rob, and it'll be Rob Day.
Rob Day, National Rob Day. I'm down. I accept. All right, gentlemen. Did anybody have stuff for Rob? You want to get into it? Let's go.
I have a question.
I actually have a challenge for Sarah.
Look, if it's to drink more, that's probably not smart because I still have to run the show.
Was it a drink or was it a debate? Because I was waiting for someone to debate Sarah on feminism, but of course I'm just running from Spiro too.
Because
so
they all know
yeah, because you're afraid.
I will.
You're afraid of me. I know.
I'll do it.
I'll debate Sarah on feminism.
Oh God! Wait, who said they actually had a challenge?
Spiro.
I did. How long?
Oh, sorry. I'm like, listen. Me trying to look at the screen right now is not that great.
Hey, I'm driving. You're just sitting there. Why are you getting dizzy?
I hear voices, but I don't see mouths moving.
Well, that's okay because I'm driving at night. All you can see is my white T-shirt.
Fair enough. All right, Spiro, kick it.
Okay, sir, let's get into it. So I'm going to take I know you like to make the case against the Russian collusion.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to you on my grandmother's grave, she is dead. I have not AI regenerated her so as to have carnal relations with her. So I'm pure and clean.
No silicone body yet? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no silicone body. I'm good. So on her grave, I promise that I've only spent 1 hour before today, and I've spent the last approximately 2 hours while I've been waiting here, reading. I'm literally ingesting the reports raw. I'm not using ChatGPT or anything. I'm ready to fucking go. Are you ready to fucking go? Okay.
Always.
All right. So I think one of the primary weakest links inside the whole Russian collusion thing is Manafort, because I find it very difficult to believe that nobody in the Trump campaign knew that Manafort was working with Russian oligarchs and other Russian spies before they hired him into their campaign around 2016. As a matter of fact, Manafort's history with Russian collusion goes all the way back to 2004. He was involved with Ukraine. He even blocked some of Obama's operations during the time that Trump was leading up to his presidency. And then Trump suddenly comes out and says, oh, hey, if I become president, I know exactly how I'm going to make peace with Russia and Ukraine. Gee, that's ideally convenient when Manafort's around doing the same around that same time. passing off information between his Russian handlers and people he knows in the States so that he can communicate this kind of coordination with Trump campaigners, including Jared Kushner and I believe Ivanka, who both said that they told Trump. As a matter of fact, even Obama pushed for Manafort to go in there. And what I find primarily the most damning thing is that, one, nobody did a background check on Manafort, which is a pretty typical thing to do if you're going to have someone in your campaign, especially a lead up to a presidential campaign. And two, even after he resigned himself, they still continued working with him on Russian-Ukraine relations, and Trump kept parroting information that Manafort had already released publicly first, as if somehow it reached Trump. Please explain.
All right. So first off, I don't even have to go to Manafort. We know, for example, Carter Page, who is a member of their team, spoke at Russian universities. Unfortunately for you, just having expertise in the area of Russia and having since 2004 talked to people who happen to be Russian businessmen, even to people that were connected to the government, is irrelevant. It doesn't mean that you're colluding with them in order to get dirt in nefarious ways to affect the 2016 election. So I'll ask you both two questions, both during the 2016 election, who were the Russians that Paul Manafort was colluding with? And second, previous to that, who were the Russians that Paul Manafort was colluding with?
From my cursory reading, so I'm going off memory here now. So again, I'm not prepared for this, but my cursory reading is that it's typically oligarchs in Russia, including one Konstantin
Klemennik.
Yeah. And there was somebody
He's not
else.
Russian, is he?
Well, I'm going to interrupt the both of you. We have 2 minutes left before somebody sends another super chat to keep this show going. So this is your time to send now to add another 5 minutes.
And the entire audience is like, Russia collusion, thrilling. Let's get our $5 in there, right? I love this shit. You may all hate it, but send $5 because I'm enjoying myself. So. Yeah.
Okay, so who was Kolomytsky then, if he wasn't Russian? Because I might have read that wrong.
A Ukrainian. He's accused of working with Russians, but Konstantin Klemennik was also, according to the Obama State Department, one of their most effective assets in trying to broker diplomatic deals between Russia and Ukraine. So explain
with
to me
Manafort.
why. No, not during the Obama State Department's tenure of using Klemennik. The Obama State Department went through Klemennik to try to broker deals and diplomatic deals between Russia and Ukraine. So explain to me why the Obama State Department thought this dude was trustworthy enough to help them with diplomacy in the region. And yet when Paul Manafort gives campaign information in the form of polling, all of a sudden that's nefarious. Wouldn't it be nefarious when Obama was doing it as well?
Yeah, it would be nefarious when Obama is doing it as well. Absolute 100%. But that doesn't negate the fact that it continued to be nefarious when Trump was doing it. That doesn't negate the idea that Trump couldn't capitalize on that just as Obama had. And clearly, Obama pushed Manafort onto Trump as well. He sent a letter saying, you got to hire this guy. He sent repeated calls to Trump's campaign to get this guy hired. And by the way,
why is your voice so girly?
I don't know. It's the programming soy leftist thing. I was raised by a single parent. My mother. Okay, so my balls haven't dropped. Shut up, Sarah. Shut up. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Okay. No.
You know what? I am too balls shy of being more manlier than you, sir.
Drunk Sarah bringing the heat. It was
sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. Keep going. I just noticed that your voice is very girly. My apologies.
Can I interject for a
I'll
second?
Shut up now.
Sure.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You think it's possible that it was a good thing that those people had that information and that access for the people that they were coming into office to help?
Even if it was good, that would again point to collusion with the Trump campaign in Russia.
No, I mean that's not collusion. Access, not collusion. Access.
So collusion would be that you have someone who has a history with Kolomytsky, who is a Russian I'm not pronouncing that right, a Russian intelligence officer. Fine, maybe he wasn't born of Russia with vodka in his veins, but he was a Russian intelligence officer with ties to Ukraine, brokering deals between Russia and Ukraine since 2004 to 2009 with some guy named Deripaska, yet another oligarch. What you want me to believe?
Citizen who works for the Ukrainian government to have access to Russia,
and yet he has the influence to talk to people. He can even pull in people from the Russian government and set up meetings with them. No, from Russia, not just Ukrainian, Russia included. So there's a history of this guy knowing people in Ukraine, people in Russia, being able to set up meetings with them, saying, hey, let's meet at what I think it was Trump Tower, if I remember correctly, or whatever. He has pull with these people. It might not have been Trump Tower. It might have been something else.
Is it illegal
he has
to
pull. He has
collude with an ally?
connections.
Is it illegal to collude with an ally?
It's not illegal to collude with an ally, but that's a very convenient answer, isn't it? Oh, it's just an ally. Oh,
No,
it's just
so
an
I
ally
think-
who happens
I
to
think
have
collusion.
An ally or an enemy?
Collusion means something very specific in this context. What we're talking about is basically secretive, immoral, or illegal, depending on the way you want to look at it, action in order to influence the 2016 election, right?
Okay.
So we are perfectly reasonable with people in government offices or people outside the government who have business relationships or some sort of diplomatic relationships with people with Russia. For example, Michael Flynn, we're told we had to shit our pants because he was calling Kislyak, not Constantine, I forget his first name, who was his counterpart in Russia, but that's completely normal. Similarly, we can't say that there was some sort of unethical collusion, and I think that unethical or illegal is part and parcel to how we would define collusion, so therefore it wouldn't be collusion if Trump's team is talking to a Ukrainian who has contacts to Russia that is also being talked to by the Obama State Department. The same with Olga Deripaska. Olga Deripaska has closer ties to the Hillary team than he does to the Trump team. So the problem is the selective application of this. Will you agree with me that the most evident example of Russia collusion was Hillary Clinton's team, that unlike Trump's team actually got dirt in the form of disinformation that came from a guy named Igor Dushenko, who is a Russian with connections to the Russian State Department, who actually was investigated for being a Russian spy in 2009 by the FBI. Is that not the most serious and blatant case and most effective case of Russia collusion?
I could see that being the most obviously collusion type case. Yes, absolutely. It's more obvious.
My argument is that you could make the claim that any contact with any Russian, whether it be from the Obama State Department, the Hillary camp, the Trump camp, is necessarily collusion if you want to define the term that way. The problem I have is the disparate outcome from the FBI. If you want to lock up Trump because he tried to meet with this Russian lawyer Veselnitskaya in Trump Tower, fine, fuck it. But then you lock up Hillary's team for meeting with Igor Dushenko. I don't think either should be locked up. The problem I have, the real villain isn't Hillary or the DNC or Trump or Don Jr. or any of them. The villain's the FBI because they decided to investigate Trump for colluding with Russia to get dirt on his opponent. And the evidence they used in part to investigate him was evidence that they knew Hillary's team did exactly what they were accusing Trump of, which was getting dirt on Trump from a Russian, which ended up being disinformation, which the FBI, instead of investigating, paid that Russian and used it to illegally spy on Trump's team through 2 illegal FISA warrants. That to me is undeniable.
Okay. Logistics for a moment, Spyro. Somebody's mic is bugging. The chat's displeased. Please fix it if it's you. And then also, you have 2 minutes. You want to keep going, send a super chat, $5, Cash App, super chat, Rob's side, my side, whatever. Do it, or else we all shut down and we go home and I go to bed.
Spyro, I just got one question, though. Who got to you? Who got to you?
Yeah,
I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I promise
Yep.
I'll be right back. I'm not running
Rob's
from
got
here.
a tinkle.
Who's running again?
Rob's got a
3
tinkle.
times. 3 times he's running from me. I got him on the ropes.
It's all
quit.
you, Spyro. You and your girly voice.
Oh, did I ruin your strategy?
What
No, you
strategy?
didn't.
Spyro
No, I
didn't
was
have a
prepared.
strategy. He just came in to say random things.
You know,
Spyro.
It was like Ryan didn't do it right. I am gonna be the Ryan that does it right.
That's correct. Yes, that's exactly right.
That's
Yeah.
odd.
talked about this.
Lefties firing shots at lefties. You don't see that. A minute and a half, chat. You better hit that dono goal or else I hit that little video button. We all go night-night. I'm okay with going night-night. I know I need to go night-night because the tomato is a drunk tomato tonight. But I'm happy to let this conversation keep going. You got a minute left. Somebody better send one. Somebody better send
I want to
one.
know who Spyro's colluding with now. He's
Yeah, I agree.
bringing this stuff up.
Panelists, you need to get the people to Grift.
Well, I'm not a lefty, I'll tell you that. But
No.
You
I don't.
have
I don't.
50
do
seconds
All right,
left.
all right,
Grift.
guys.
You
You do
guys
not
go
want to
convince them
see
to
a
do it.
drunk tomato, right? So do not send in $5.
All right, hold on a second.
I'm already drunk.
You don't want to see.
Ah,
wanna see
there
a
we
more drunk
go.
tomato.
Harry
Come on,
and
guys.
Big
Reset, and this
Five
drunk
to
Sarah goes
save everyone. And let me get through a couple other little grift maxing here. There we go.
Clay, you're not further right than me.
Gotta reset the clock.
Barney sent in 5 to say, I'll reset it here in a second. Barney sent in the big 5 to say, Happy America Day. Special. That's a special name. Sent in the big 7, says, keep it going. Courtney, the darling, your darling wifey.
That's her.
She said, happy birthday, Rob. Sarah, 5 of your dollars and letting you talk about Russia some more. Yes, thanks for the 5 in my pocket. And Courtney, you get a quarter of that back to you. So don't worry.
Financial deal for me. YouTube gets their 30% too. So it's working out well. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Rocky Shepherd says, live crash of long haul driver. Are you using Bluetooth? Watch the road, dude. Yes, we were. This channel, this is not the first trucker we've seen on stream. They're very good at this. I tell you that right now. I've seen truckers who run their own live streams while trucking. It's crazy. You wouldn't believe it, but you do. And Harry saved us with the extra 5 to add more time. And Abe says, keep it going, Mato. All right, here we go. Restart.
Mato.
We're going.
All right, Spear, what you got?
Okay, so first of all, just because the unfair or unbalanced application of what the evidence they found disproportionately affects either Clinton or Trump does not negate the idea that there was collusion to begin with. All it does is point to a unfair, unbalanced application of evidence which may overlap both. That's not proof that there wasn't collusion. That's just proof that people just applied it differently. And second of all, it's not just a mere case of this is just standard status quo communication between people who have like political connections. Manafort was literally providing like campaign strategies and polling information and stuff like that. And he was sending emails like the day before, I believe, the election. I might have read that wrong. He sent an email like, you guys need to be prepared to win. If you don't, there's going to be egg on your face, like as if he knew and he was preparing the campaign for that. This is beyond just status quo comms.
Okay, so first off, right, the idea that this doesn't disprove collusion, if everyone does something, it would be like the equivalent of saying we have a massive investigation, including getting FICE warrants to spy a presidential campaign because they're accused of jaywalk. And then it's like, wow, just because the other side jaywalks and stuff too, doesn't mean that jaywalking didn't occur. Of course, it is my estimation that pretty much every political campaign in my lifetime at the national level is willing and reaching out to foreign allies and adversaries for as much campaign information as they could get. It is the norm, and it's not illegal. You're allowed to do that. It was only with the Trump team that they decided to make this accusation of Russia collusion. Secondly, it wouldn't be the Trump campaign that was colluding with Russia. It would be Paul Manafort himself, unless there was some sort of aspect of coordination with the campaign and some sort of quid pro quo that was offered. There's no evidence of any of that. Third, the most likely explanation of his contact with Konstantin Klimanik had to do, as you've said, that actually Manafort had a business relationship going back, I think, to 2004 with Konstantin Klimanik. The reason that he was reaching out to Klimanik was that, yeah, he was sort of being a bit shady and unethical, but it had nothing to do with negatively influencing the 2016 election or getting promises from Russia. Instead, it had to do with him saying, hey, we should do a business deal together again because I'm about to be the big man. Check out this polling data that says, unbeknownst or unlike what you hear from the New York Times and the Democrats that are saying Hillary's got a 99% chance to win. That's not what we're seeing. So you should consider doing business with me when it comes to outside the scope of politics, when it comes to financial shit, because I might be the big man in the Trump administration who's likely to win this thing. Again, all of that's irrelevant. Like, again, I'm uninterested in the debate of the semantic of like, well, technically, was this collusion? It's very similar. I've made this argument many times. If you say, do you think Trump's tall? And I'm like, well, I don't know. How do you define tall? And you say anyone over 2 feet is tall. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I can concede that definition and say, fine, then the word's rendered meaningless. If you're rendering the term collusion to mean anytime someone talks in secret to a Russian or to any country and a person who's from a different country, sure, I guess we could say that's collusion. I don't think this was unique. In fact, we know it wasn't unique because an apples to apples comparison to that very election with Hillary Clinton.
1 minute, 40 seconds to get another dono in. Do it or we go night-night. $5 keeps it going. Okay, continue.
Get those donos in, and that mic noise is not mine. I've been muted.
I figured it out. It is actually Son whose mic is popping. I went through while Rob was on his rant.
tirade.
Yeah,
It was a tirade, not a rant.
I went and I started muting everyone one at a time to see when the noise stopped. It was Sun. So Sun, you're gonna keep being muted until you actually want to talk or until you fix that shit. That's fucking annoying.
God
It's
damn
like,
it, Sun.
back. All right, so I will reset the clock. Back to you, Rob.
All right, real quick. We have an apples to apples comparison. We can see that Hillary's team, as you admitted, did it worse. That's what actual Russia collusion looks like, not someone saying, hey, it looks like we might win.
Okay, so let me concede to a few things. Let's say that Manafort, he had these connections. They weren't necessarily of nefarious nature or whatever, but you have to admit that it seems weird. Some of his actions did seem to indicate that he knew there was something going on the Russian side. He had some kind of awareness that there was some kind of activity happening on the Russian side, especially because he was trying to kind of manhandle some of the, I believe it was some of the media leakage that was going to come out about the Russian collusion before everybody else kind of got to it. If I remember that part of the story correctly, that's the part where I kind of started to lose track because I started talking to you guys. So there, to me, it seems like Manafort must have known something was up. Something was indicative of Russia playing a game here.
Well, I don't think that, first off, everyone and their brothers suspected that Russia, China, North Korea, Iran had hacked Hillary because she had a server in a bathroom. So everyone with half a brain was like, of course our adversaries and allies, for that matter, would have got access to it. So there's no reason to think Manafort wouldn't have had that conclusion as well. Secondly, it was evident by sort of late July that Hillary's team was trying to smear Trump as connected to Russia. So if you're his campaign manager, of course you're going to push back on that and say, no, we're not connected to Russia. So the idea that, like, it's sort of, you're making the argument here like, Rob, I call you a racist, and I go, no, I'm not a racist. And you're like, oh, I think you protest too much. Yeah, of course, Manafort, as the campaign manager, was going out there when it was Hillary's strategy to connect Trump to Russia, saying, no, we're not connected to Russia. Again, you can't, other than Konstantin Klimenik, right, who there's explanations as a prior business partner, who was a dude that was so trustworthy with the Obama State Department, he was considered basically an ally worth dealing with, not this Russian spy. Manafort gave him campaign data. That's it. Compare that to Hillary's team dealing with the suspected Russian spy and actually getting disinformation, which the FBI then used to spy. The comparison isn't even close. It proves that the collusion was far worse on Hillary's side, and the FBI was gung-ho to go with it because it was all about getting Trump. That's what the thing was about.
You're just saying
Mr.
that
Bill says, I'm sorry, girl voice, with the big five, it seems weird Rob was kicked by YouTube when talking to Spiro. Therefore, Spiro and Mr. E must have been colluding with the matriarchy. Look, it's all my fault.
Yes.
Wait.
I started this. Okay. Because surprisingly, my channel didn't get shut down, but Rob's did, and we were dual streaming the same exact thing. Listen, you want a conspiracy theory? I've got one for you. Go ahead, Spiro.
Wait, Spiro, you're Canadian?
Yes.
Mr. E's Canadian?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you both in Manitoba?
Hang on, I just got to get my next shipment of maple syrup from Mr.
Try to be cute.
Real quick, on my Rumble, Johnny Duck donates $5 and says, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. Peace. John Ruck on YouTube. And I second what Jess Gerald just said. So there's $5 to reset it.
Fuck you, Johnny Duck.
I reset.
And he says F YouTube. So
I don't know him.
Also, Jess Gerald said previous to that. Well, never mind. That might not be terms. So we'll leave that one go. But, Jesus. Well, now
that's why he put it on the Rumble side.
That's right. Yeah. So.
Okay.
We know where our conversations are safe.
Yeah. Okay, shall I fire back?
So,
sure, have it.
I'd like to hear a bit more from Abe Dinkus.
No.
Well, okay.
Well, let Spiro go because he's got something to say.
Yeah, I have lots of work, and I've got Rob right where I want him. Right where I want him.
All right. Should we do? Hold on. Is this a speed date kind of? I got you where I want you kind of thing.
It's very nice. My wife's watching Spiro. Just so you know. So be careful here.
Dear Lord, you people are sick, degenerate scumbags. No wonder Andrew talks so much trash against you. All right, you of all people, I thought. Shut up, sir. Okay, listen. So, is it a unique thing to not do any background checks on someone who's going to join your campaign?
In general, I would say it's probably common. I'll concede, especially when it comes to a high level like your campaign chief. Now, I will say with some of the lower level people, there's probably more limited background check. But sure, with your campaign manager. Yeah, absolutely.
That's strange, right? And then you have him in a high position, and then he has a background history of some kind of connection between Ukraine and Russia, and in some degree for a few decades. There's definitely something they will raise a red flag. Well, what it sounds to me like you're saying is that the Clinton administration did it worse, not that the Trump administration didn't do it at all.
Well, no. Well, first off, all I'm concerned about is the FBI using the information sourced from a Russian that was worse to try to prove that Trump did exactly what they already knew that they themselves and Hillary's team was doing worse. That's my primary concern. But again, going back to the question you're putting here, it's sort of a non sequitur. Like you're saying, one, it sounds like Trump's team did talk with a Russian. Again, Klemennik wasn't Russian, and he was considered trustworthy enough by the State Department to think that he was a reasonable source, not some Russian spy. But secondly, Manafort working with people in Ukraine in the past, like Yanukovych, the Ukrainian president, so did many other people. I don't have any evidence they didn't do a background check. My question is, why would that matter? Like, would that would that mean that it would disqualify anyone from any political campaign that ever worked in any facet whatsoever with anyone who happened to be Russian or seen as Russian friendly?
No, it wouldn't. No, it's just one point among many, many, many questionable points. For example,
I was just going to say, send it to $5.
Yeah, send it $5
before Sarah bites my head off. Like, come on, you got to get the $5 in so we can keep with this argument. Also, we're going to up the ante soon, probably by 2:15. But yeah, send in $5 to reset the clock. Remember, last person to donate is the champ of the night. There's Justin Martins. He's won this game in the past. He says this is how long to blast the horn if he could without scaring the crap out of some innocent motorist. All right, sorry, Spiro, go ahead.
Okay. So, for example, Podesta, I believe is how you pronounce it. I might
Podesta,
be pronouncing
yeah.
Podesta. Thank you. He had his emails hacked as part of the DNC hack in general, which is known to have come from at least Russian-linked groups, which we know are Russian-linked even today. They continue to operate using the same name in some cases. They're even to this day. I cover these stories all the time. Are they Russian? No, there's no definitive proof that they are Russian, but they are Russian linked. We also know about the GRU agents who definitely are Russian. We know about the IP addresses that came from GRU buildings or places where GRU operatives operate out of. So we know that Russia was involved in some kind of hacking. Now, I'm not saying that that's proof of Russian collusion, but what I am saying is that I find it very strange that given Podesta's work history, he had no idea how to detect a simple spear phishing email campaign that most people in his line of work would have basic cybersecurity classes on. So what I'm trying to say here is that there are several points. And how about the Alpha Bank DNS records between Alpha Bank and the Trump Tower?
Those were fake. Those were set up.
So
that was admitted to be fake. Yeah, it was actually, it turned out that not only was that fake, the DNS servers was fake, but actually then, I forget the name of the specific person that was actually charged under the Durham report that actually they sought to charge. So the Alpha Bank server was fake. Now, when it comes to the Russian hack, of course because I know you've looked into this, that the DNC was unwilling to hand over their server and instead relied on their company they hired, CrowdStrike, who, by the way, had been wrong in the past when they accused Russia of hacking, which they did in Ukraine at one point. Rock Shepherd resets it. Thanks so much. We're back with the $5. Excellent. But I want to quote from you, a wise man who sent me some information here the other day.
I know.
You see, when it comes to these hacks, there's IP addresses that are pointing to the GRU servers and physical addresses, locations that are known to be GRU-ran Russian military. However, this is not definitive. You could use VPNs. The GRU may have released their IP to other users. Groups that the GRU locations may have been hacked, as well as all known government military servers are hacked all the time. The only definitive proof's hidden away by national security cloud, so we'll never know if they have it.
You're a backstabbing son of a bitch. That's what you are. You are a backstabbing son of a bitch.
Let this be a lesson to anyone I do read you all shit. So that quote that I just read you that was putting significant doubt on the proof that Russia hacked the DNC was actually from our friend Spiro. here the other day when I was debating that said that. So yes, it's never been definitive that they hacked, but even if it would, now we have coming from Ratcliffe's office that actually the claims that were made under the ICA, the Intelligence Communication Assessment, that Russia was interfering to help Trump were total bullshit. That they didn't have proof of that, and instead Brennan jumped to that conclusion and put pressure on the intelligence community, up to and including things like the debunked Steele dossier and other assessments that were only directly through the CIA. So all these other agencies only got to hear about this for one day. So even today, as we speak, more and more evidence is coming out that it turns out that Russia never intended to help Donald Trump. They intended to cause division. They intended to talk shit on Hillary, but there's no evidence that they intended for Trump to win. And just because the only examples you could have other than that Trump's team was asking for this help or was colluding was this Ukrainian guy, Konstantin Klemenuk, that was trusted by the Obama State Department getting campaign polling data from Paul Manafort. That's tenuous at best.
Okay, so I only have I've reached the limit of my knowledge that I've consumed in a very short period of time. So I'll say that when was the DNC? Wait, was it the DNC hack? Crap! Oh no, when was the Clinton email hack? Do you remember?
I don't know that they have a specific time frame for when the hack occurred. My understanding is they think it occurred in sometime between 2015 and 2016. And I think I could be wrong, but I don't think that they think it was a singular thing. I would have to look though.
I from what I just remember reading, so I also could be wrong because I literally just read all of it just to have like a fun debate here. But I believe that what happened is Trump made the joke, ha ha ha, wouldn't it be funny if Russia got the emails? The next day they started attacking the emails.
No, so it's definitely not true, that, at least in the form of the WikiLeaks, right? It's definitely not true because I know that the WikiLeaks started to come out, I believe, shit. I looked this up just the other night again to get my timeline, but let me look this up.
April or October 2016, something like that.
While Rob's looking that up, this is your 2-minute warning. Send $5. Keep the timer going.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, so the WikiLeaks were in July 22nd, 2016 was the first tranche of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
So I think Trump's statement was after that, if I'm not mistaken, right? So if that's the case, then your claim. So yeah, so the WikiLeaks were in June. The first day of them was July 22nd, 2016, right? And so Trump's claims then come July 27th. Now, to buttress your claim, though, the Podesta leaks didn't start until October 7th, 2016. So you could say Russia hacked. Trump asked, they hacked more, but I don't think there's evidence that there was a second hack after that time. I believe they believe the hack occurred before that July timeframe, and it was just released in certain tranches. Of course, as you know, there's credible evidence to suggest it wasn't Russia at all, but it was actually Seth Rich, who was pissed off because those WikiLeaks emails actually showed that they were fucking over Bernie, who was someone he supported. And there's all sorts of evidence that the download speeds were actually such that they think it was from a thumb drive in person as opposed to, you know, half a world away in Russia. But nonetheless, like, it was clearly a joke, and even you would have to, I don't mean that, but even Radical Coder and these other folks should have to admit that it was clearly a joke. If Donald Trump was really nefariously trying to steal the election with Russia, he wouldn't fucking ask them on national television. Right? He would have a back channel. That's clearly the case.
Well, well, hang on though. There is one thing that I thought of that I do kind of buy. Trump is crazy enough to do something out in the open were he colluding, because the Democrats do this all the time. They'll tell you exactly what they're doing to your face, and they get away with it all the time. And I think Trump's crazy enough to do it too. And that's if I took the position of Trump actually colluding.
Yeah, I just don't think that's the case.
You're crazy enough to do crazy things.
Sarah,
Tickle This Elmo.
It's not going to happen. I'm married. I'm happily married. Just
on my Rumble, Tickle This Elmo says.
Spiro talks. If I talk like this, will it make everybody more excited?
Tickle This Elmo gives $5 on Rumble so we can reset the clock. But he says something we can't say here. So
fair enough.
He says don't read on YouTube, but he did send $5. So.
So, Sarah,
choice words for people.
So Sarah, Rob,
yeah.
May I fulfill the request from the super chatter? Last 5 minutes.
Yes.
Did you get that?
Yeah. We did.
My son would be so excited whenever we pass trucks. He's
Greetings.
like, "Mom, do the thing. Mom, do the thing."
So I've
It
run
made
my
me
limit.
fun with the nieces and nephews again when I started driving over the road again.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
No, I appreciate Spiro. It's always nice to have someone who's actually intelligent push back to strengthen your argument.
I just read the whole thing, and now taking off the pro collusion hat, there is so much crap in here that reading these reports, it's like just full of holes all over the place. The FBI conveniently hid behind like all of a sudden they want to dot all their I's and cross all their T's. We don't want to give everything up. They don't record anything, like you've said before. Like there's so much crap. Even the technical stuff is like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Not the FBI.
But I just thought it would be fun to like engage with you and just give her.
I mean, to any lefty that's listening, right? Maybe I could convince you of this. This is called a cell phone. Now, you see these three things here? These are cameras. Now, almost everyone has this. Would it shock you to know that when our FBI interviews someone, they do not record? They don't. Instead, what they rely on is what's called a 302, which is contemporaneous handwritten notes by the FBI agents. And what you'll see is they're wrong all the time. Even if you don't think it's corrupt, they could have a false memory. So, for example, with General Flynn, one of the two agents that recorded that and memorialized it in the 302 had to later admit, whoops, I fucked up. I misremembered something. So even if you're like, screw Trump, Orange Man bad, can't we all agree that the FBI should just fucking record shit? So that when this stuff comes out, because they don't do it so that they can be corrupt. That's why, because if they want to railroad someone, they have plausible deniability. They say,
that's the most hardest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like with
Well,
technology,
that was-
but that won't stop them from tapping a wire now, will it?
That's right.
That's right.
No. That was one of my biggest flags on it from the beginning, is that as soon as the reports for the FISA applications came out, there was actually zero material evidence. There were no recordings handed over. Everything was transcribed by the FBI agents. There was no proof that what they wrote down actually was said.
Rob, if I could ask you one question too, something I read, maybe you could help me understand this.
Send in $5, everyone. But yeah, go ahead.
The Senate committee was asking for information from, I believe it was the White House administration at the time, like the Trump administration at the time of investigation, if I remember correctly. But anyways, there was something that they claimed, which was like national security or like executive administration or something, where they said, we don't actually have to give you this information. It falls under executive jurisdiction. And the Senate committee report that I read was like, well, at the time that we're asking for this information, you weren't even in office. So we don't actually agree with this. But I didn't understand like the concept there.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm like, I need to thoroughly read through, particularly the new reports from Ratcliffe, and see what they're saying. Again, we're getting down to a minute and a half. We're not fucking around. At 5 minutes, we're leaving. So someone get $5 in. But yeah, there's a lot of shit like that. It's just like for example, just to give people a clue, when it comes to like the FBI or the Mueller team saying like, oh, this shit's sources and methods, we can't share it to you. One of the things that occurred was there was this memo from this guy. There we go. K2 keeps it going.
Actually,
nice.
Pause. I don't mean to interrupt your thought process, Rob, but do we want to shorten the time and make it more fun? Now that we're beyond 2 a.m., we can shorten the time. We can still keep it at 5 or more, but shorten the time.
2.5 minutes.
Okay, so we'll go to 2.5 minutes, and that will be your starting point, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna have to keep the donos flowing.
Keep them coming.
Oh, even Tweaker's getting in on it now, so we're doing good.
Tweaker's tweaking.
He's sleeping. Leave the man sleep. But no, just to back to what we were talking, this Nunez memo, you remember Adam Schiff came out with a memo and said, there was this Twitter hashtag release the memo, and the Democrats all said, those are Russian bots. And it turned out it was bullshit. There was no evidence it was Russian bots. When they actually released some of the shit unredacted, the shit that the FBI redacted was shit like, we paid $45,000 for this couch in, floor 5 of the FBI. And they told you that you couldn't see that because it jeopardized FBI agents' lives. This shit happens all the time. They're constantly telling you, like, well, we can't show you this. It would jeopardize sources and methods. And to see how fucking nefarious this is, Radical Coder kept saying, well, they paid. You say that fucking Igor Dushenko was this suspected Russian spy, but how do you explain the fact that the FBI paid him? The reason the FBI paid him was once he becomes a paid informant, then he can't be subpoenaed by Congress.
Right. Then there's protection clauses, isn't
That's
there?
right. There's all this protection. So they were like, they knew that he was full of shit, but they paid him that way. The Trump administration couldn't be like, okay, let's bring this dude in front of Congress and testify about this. So that they paid him and then said, oh, you can't talk to him. He's an informant. That's the sort of shit that was going on the whole time. And I encourage everyone to read Ratcliffe's report that they just released on X yesterday. Like the abnormalities of this intelligence community assessment included things like they only had 2 days to look at the information as opposed to the months they normally have. It didn't go through the proper review channels, despite the fact you would think, well, shit, if they wrote it in 2 days, it really went through the review channel, right? To make sure that it was edited properly. No, it was even faster with the editing. The heads of the intel agencies were directly involved, which almost never happens, but they were directly involved. They were talking about reports that were released from the press right before the ICA was released. In fact, the Washington Post put out a reporting that was like, oh, we've done reporting that shows that there's an ICA, intelligence community assessment, that's being crafted. And then they changed it 3 hours later. They changed the byline. They changed the direct post of everything, the text of their article that said, oh, the ICA says they concede that Russia interfered to help Trump. All of this shit points to an incredible abnormality. And you have to remember, the head of the CIA that's spearheading this, John Brennan, he briefed Obama previous to this and said Hillary Clinton is concocting a scheme to blame Trump for being connected to Russia because she wants to distract from her server.
I remember reading that. Yeah.
What? So, Rob, another point on that is I was actually thinking about that when they asked for corroboration from the Obama administration. The Obama administration used the executive privilege to not have to respond, and that was when Trump responded with the next request being, "No, that's executive privilege."
That's right. Yeah, and they do all, like, this shit was, I mean, it's just so goofy and blatant and ham-fisted. And what happens is when you debate, like, you look at the IG, like Horowitz, that was investigating the Trump investigation and the Hillary investigation. And what he's doing is he's just looking at each individual decision in a vacuum and saying, is arguably this legitimate? And he's like, yeah. Like, for example, is it legitimate to open up an investigation about Russia collusion? Well, yeah, because if you look at the FBI standards, they need almost nothing to open an investigation. Like, I could be like, I think Spiro's a bank robber. And theoretically, the FBI could be like, well, shit, let's look into that. What they can't do is get FISA warrants to spy on Spiro based on something so flimsy, but they can open the investigation. But if you look at each individual decision in a vacuum, it's like, well, that's right on the border, but technically they could do that. The problem is almost every time there's something like that with Hillary's team, it's like right on the border of being too lenient. And with Trump's team, it's right on the border of being too aggressive. Over and over and over and over and over, dozens of times a piece. So much so that they're giving everyone in Hillary's team immunity, and they're aggressively going after, they're sending spies, confidential human sources, wiretaps, all this shit going after Trump's team. And if you can't see the forest for the trees to say, clearly there was a fucking double standard. I mean, for God's sakes, their lead agent on both cases, Peter Strzok, is talking about wanting an insurance policy to stop Trump from winning. And yet still, it's not enough for lefties. And what I hear when I debate people like Radical Coder is, well, maybe they're just incompetent. Maybe
1 minute warning.
Really incompetent.
1 minute warning.
Let me check my
donations.
We got them from Joseph Romano at 8:17, my time at least, 2 minutes ago.
Oh,
yeah, I already reset it from there.
Okay.
$5, someone. We'll leave, and then you'll be forced to watch. Who the hell knows who's Abe's probably still streaming. Abe's great. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Abe will come too, damn it.
Yeah, you guys all know there's nobody else live on YouTube right now that's quite as amazing as this show. So you want to keep it going, you know what to do.
22 seconds.
If you send in $5, I'll debate Sarah on feminism because I literally just debated
Joseph.
Rob. So
there we
go. Spiro on feminism with Sarah. I love it.
Oh shit!
I'll run the grift. I'll pay attention to the clock.
I'm not kidding. This is the first time I've ever debated anything outside of the technical sphere, and I just spent time reading it, and I just went with it for funsies. So
you
I'm
actually
ready.
would go against feminism with that girly voice?
You know what?
What the fuck you talking about? Yeah.
Hang on.
Listen here, Sarah.
It'll grow some
Can you
chest hair.
harness your balls a little bit and maybe like? I mean, if my voice my voice isn't even deeper than yours. I just utilize a different octave on purpose, right? And you're not even. Can you stop speaking through your nose and maybe?
I have a very yes, I have a very
hit that diaphragm a little harder.
Spiro, take a shot of the deer hunter.
Right, I should have done
you
that.
you go from like this to
Yeah. I use your balls, dude. Let them drop. Let the balls drop.
I hate to interrupt here. I love this debate, right? But remember, we're not just resetting the clock. The last person to give a donation when the clock runs out is the champion of the night. And if that happens to be someone who says they're for the patriarchy, we'll ask them. Then that means I win. And if it's someone for the matriarchy, and it doesn't matter if you're a woman, you're counting as the matriarchy for tonight. Jess, I see you in the chat. Don't even try that shit, or Kat. You count as matriarchy tonight. So you're not just playing for us. You're also, to reset the clock, you're also playing to win yourself. And you win, I don't know what you win. Nothing.
45 seconds.
Dono or Spiro. We won't get to hear Spiro's balls drop.
So make
sure.
And by the way, when they drop, they make a sound. They go plop.
That's how I hear from you. It's like talking to my daughter.
Oh my gosh.
She's a very girly girl, and she's very much up in the
15 seconds. Someone's gonna get a dono in.
Hurry, get it done. Get it done.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Nice. Jason comes through.
Jason, shout out to you. Abe,
Yeah, well, I'm having a good time.
I'll hold another 15 seconds before I apply Abe's. All right, Spiro, you better start talking.
Okay, well, what would be your claim? Your claim would be that feminism is good for society. It has provided good outcomes. Yeah, that would be your claim. And my claim would be that it has done more harm than good, and that in fact it holds back women from reaching their true goals. And I don't mean being like reading the time off the kitchen stove and making sandwiches. I mean from being able to be protected by men who actually want to take care of women, who are actually doing the womanly things that they're supposed to do. It's a feedback cycle, and the feminism essentially breaks that cycle, says F you men, we don't want you to do what we want you to do. It's a very womanly way to say exactly the opposite of what you'd like to do, and it just plays out in society.
Okay, what time frame are you working with that is the perfection of women doing what they're supposed to do?
So the problem with that is that anytime I've seen on many debates someone say a time frame, then somebody else goes, haha, so you want us to go back to the 1950s and all of that. Okay, but if I'm going to pick a time frame, I'm only going to pick the time frame for the purpose of how women were in that time frame, not all the other stuff that was happening around that time. I don't want you to peg me on that. That's gross. Okay.
We got 5 on Rumble from Otis Driftwood also. Sorry.
Fair enough. Reset the clock.
Okay.
Okay. So I mean, I would actually take it back to before, or even like early 1900s, before the 1920s, and even 20 years before that. Women actually didn't have to make their own meals. They didn't have to dress themselves. They didn't have to bathe their children. They didn't have to be all of these womanly things, right? So they actually didn't have to make sandwiches. They had their husbands were paying for other people to come and do all of this stuff for them. So they were pretty much useless if you really think about it. And now we've actually turned and feminism has made women useful in more ways than one. When you go back to the 1950s, even more so, they actually still had people coming and helping them to watch their kids and do this and do that. And now feminism has brought us to the point, yes, it's more stress and more weight on women's shoulders, but inevitably we've become more useful to society as a whole. Not only are we taking care of our own kids, but we are actually making our own meals.
Right.
Sarah.
And we're making your sandwiches for you.
How many times have you seen the movie Help?
I think I saw it. Was that the one where she shits in the pie?
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that wasn't that. Most families didn't have those people coming in and
I'm
doing
talking
all the
further
shit.
back. I'm talking further back.
Ah, okay, I got it.
No, even further back in the 1900s, that was all that was all upper class.
Let's go to aristocracy, right? So the women who had the men who could actually provide that for them could afford to have people making them dinner and all of those things, and that was the very definition. 30 seconds to Grift.
30. I was
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
You want the debate to
I'll finish
continue?
my thought. I'm trying to defend this, and look, I'm working really hard. I'm drunk. I don't believe in feminism, but this is good. We're gonna get there. But you gotta
20 seconds.
You gotta
get
grip
it in
for me to finish the thought.
Yep.
15.
You're not that drunk. You can do
You'll
it.
You'll never hear the final thoughts here.
I'll
just invite you.
It was such a good thought too.
That's it.
5,
it's gonna be it.
3. No cash traps.
Oh,
No
Jason
cash-
gets
oh,
it
wait,
in.
This is the nick of time.
Wow.
I'll give it to him because I know it takes time. Okay, so in actuality, when we talk about where women should be in their place in the home, that's with a man who can actually provide those things for her, right? But the things that he could provide are things that, she could actually do on her own if you're middle class, lower class, so on and so forth. So we sit there, we say feminism bad, but yet all of these women who utilize feminism to their advantage so that they could not only provide additional income to their household, but they are still capable of tending to the making you dinner and taking care of their kids and doing all those things by themselves as well. So we've actually created more independent women and more capable of handling household, not just household, but like more things than just looking pretty. Before that, we just looked pretty. We were making babies and we looked pretty and we maintained a social status, and that was it.
But you just said that in the past there were women who did not just do that. They had
lower
the
class,
ability to do more.
and they were considered lower class, and they were considered less than.
Hit the clock.
Well, based on what?
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
It's all right. It's all right.
Based on what? Yes. You were lower class. You weren't societal. You weren't even sellable as a young female, as a daughter of a pauper. Like, you weren't even sellable. You were useless. You were a useless woman.
So, and those were the people who couldn't do. They were not in the aristocratic
That's
class.
going to be clipped.
And they
that should be clipped.
Clip it. Absolutely clip it. And so, damn it, that's over. Now you know what you do. You do what I do on my channel. I go, it's not real unless it's clipped, and if it's clipped, it's deep fake AI. House always wins.
Right.
Okay. Right. Okay. So that means that women who didn't do that were the lower class. Is that what you're saying? Like,
women
who didn't have the
people
ability to
serve to them and do everything for them so that they could just look pretty and make babies.
And they were the lower class.
You were lower class. You weren't even categorized. You were nothing. You weren't anything. Now with feminism, right? Females of all stature, middle class, lower class, upper class. So not only are we useful at home as mothers and sandwich makers, but we also are useful by way of we can provide incomes to this household and help buy that second vehicle and help pay for college for our kids and so on and so forth.
Okay. So
and Trailer Park Terry can end up being invited out to the boat in Miami.
Yeah. Okay. So this presupposes, though, the woman back then didn't have any benefits, and that if you what would happen if you unlocked those women, so to speak, and you allowed them to do everything that a man could do, or the equivalent work thereof today? What would they be doing?
Her benefits only derived from what her husband could provide.
What's wrong with that?
30 seconds. 30 seconds for the grift. Keep it going. Well, if he couldn't provide, right? So I'm all for being a supportive team member, right? Joseph paid it off. Thank you, Joseph. I'm all for being a supportive team member, and we will rise together, and so on and so forth. So at this day and age, our economy does not allow for a one-person household unless you're making at least 300,000 or more, right? It depends on what city you're living in, but there are ifs, ands, or variations of such. And women are now held to a higher standard, which I'm okay with being held to a higher standard. I take full accountability and responsibility for everything I do, and I'm all about going on and utilizing every resource, asset, tool necessary in order to make shit work. If you go to the aristocracy of before, right before feminism, we're talking about women who were merely just beautiful trophies to put on a shelf, and they looked pretty, they made babies, and they upheld the social status. However, if shit failed, they're useless. Like, for instance, if their husband died, they only had whatever he left him. And if he left them with nothing, then they had to depend on another man, whether it be uncle, cousin, brother, so on and so forth, in order to uphold some type of living stature or social status of some sort, whatever, monetarily. However, in this point, if husband dies, shit happens, we move on. But we can move on. We can financially
1 minute.
Provide.
You
for
got
ourselves.
1 minute to send in $5.
1 minute, keep it rolling.
Keep it going.
I'm trying really hard at this.
You're doing great.
Yeah. So you would want women back then to go plow the fields and do extremely dangerous work so that they could have the same status as they do now. This is an argument from modernity. In modernity, you have much easier work you can do. Back then, you didn't.
Women have always been in a supportive role, correct?
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so lower class women back then only plowed fields and worked shitty jobs because that's all their opportunities provided for them, right? They didn't have the ability to go to college, take out loans, get credit, whatever, so on and so forth. They didn't have the opportunity to scholarships, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they might have gone to college only if you are in the upper class. All right, we're going to keep it going. Good, I didn't even have to say it.
Nice. Good evening.
So they... oh, sorry, we got another one too. Sorry, I'm trying to do it all at once.
If I could do that aspect of it, I would. Okay. I'm so sorry I can't.
Listen, I'm a woman. We can multitask.
That's true.
Listen,
don't ever doubt it. He was able to start the stream.
You just have to watch the clock and tell them when it's 1 minute.
Yes, she started this stream and simultaneously was able to get my YouTube channel canceled all at the same time. It was
incredible. The power of feminism.
Sarah,
Slay queen, slay.
The modern
Sarah, your argument from materialism is infuriating me just as much as those college girls on whatever.
I know. So in any event, oh God, where was my thought? Where did I leave off? Someone tell me. Was anybody paying attention?
I'm not helping you.
Just multitask, you'll get it.
The lower class women didn't have the options.
They didn't have the option to rise above in any event or to even save themselves. So even if their husband passed away, and let's say they didn't have a father or brothers in the region to help keep them going, maybe they are all passed away and they're left all alone, then yeah, they have to plow the fucking field because that's the only job opportunity left for them. In this instant, feminism says, hey, if you're smart enough, if you're wise enough, you can be an entrepreneur, you can do this, you can be a scientist, you can do all of these things where you can have the opportunity to make more money than the average bear. And to me, that speaks louder than, your only role is to look pretty and make babies.
Okay. So there's no benefit then today to going back to some of the more traditional feminine roles in the household.
Oh, plenty of benefits, and I won't deny that. I'm all for it. 30 seconds and I'll keep going. 30 seconds, hit the grift. Oh, wait, did I apply the second one? I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
I don't think I did. We'll go ahead and apply that now. So I'm sorry, what was the question again? Sorry.
Poor Sarah.
Women in the household versus career.
Oh,
No,
yes.
are there any
No,
benefits
I'm all
of?
for it. I'm all for it. I'm fully supportive of a stay-at-home wife. I was privileged with that ability to be the stay-at-home wife, the stay-at-home mom, and all of those things. And I was able to actually go to and finish my master's degree while I was doing all of those things, which was paid for, provided by the USAF Veterans Benefits. Hello, thank you very much. Yeah, and I was paid to go to school. It was quite an opportunity. So my husband not only just had to provide for the family, but he did not have to pay for my college education, and neither did I. It was glorious. But without that opportunity, I would have never had that moment now, would I? But I'm fully supportive of being able to be a stay-at-home parent. I think that that's more beneficial for our children. However, not every woman wants to be a mom, and especially not early on. I think it is more beneficial if we're mothers at an earlier age. I was again granted that ability to be a mother at an early stage. However, it's not for everyone. So if you're going to be a spinster and at least have the opportunity to go and do whatever the fuck you want, figure it out, find whatever a job makes you happy, make the money you want to make. And then if you choose to decide on getting married, having babies and all of those fun sorts, then at least you have that difference and you have that opportunity to do so. 50 seconds.
I have a question for you, Sarah, without getting too personal. So you used Air Force GI Bill, essentially, is what I'm understanding, to go and get a master's degree. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So are you planning on using that master's degree?
I am right now. Not on this show, but on my 9 to 5, yeah.
Oh, okay.
30 seconds, hit the grift.
Come on,
Then good to
guys.
go.
30 seconds,
My
I'll start
point was going to
yelling.
be, if you're not, then I mean, were those taxpayer dollars paying for that education well spent? But if you're going to use them, or you are using them, then I mean, yeah.
20 seconds. Listen, Jason Castle's going to win it all. We'll have to end this conversation.
Jason Castle, really?
Oh, there it is.
Joseph
We got
coming
2
in
in a
for the
row.
win.
Nice.
Have a good night, guys. Keep it going. Joseph tapped out. Okay. Anyways, back to you, Spyro.
Okay. So the problem with what you're saying is that it's a very idealistic tone, where it's like, oh, well, women will have the choice to be able to do what they want, and then the women who are admittedly the smaller portion of women who would want to go and do those kinds of things have the ability to do that. Unfortunately, what's happened is because of feminism, we have done things like devalue our dollar, and we've adjusted our education system, and we've doubled our workforce, which essentially has down workforce dollars in terms of value. And then instead of saying, oh, you do have the choice, we actually push women to go, you should probably do this because it's good for feminism. The entire thing has become non-idealistic right from the get-go. So where is the positive outcome of feminism as a result of these movements?
Let me ask you this. Our women are good for child rearing, making babies and raising them, correct?
Yes.
Why don't we just get rid of any mother after the child turns 18? Why don't we just send them to a work camp, and the husband gets a brand new spanking wife who's 22 and ready to start her family? I like
where you're going.
That was my dream in my 20s.
I mean, seriously,
that was my dream.
If it is a woman's only goal, or only sole purpose to society to make babies, rear them until they're 18 and off to college, then why not, when the child turns 18 and they go to school, why not just send mom away and dad gets a brand new spanking wife, 22 and ready to...
Hold on, Sarah. You forgot the most important job, making sandwiches.
I was gonna make the
The 22-year-old needs to learn to make more sandwiches too. Why? But why not, Spiro? If that is our sole purpose and that is our only duty to society, or at least the one that we should acknowledge as our responsibility to help society continue, then why don't we just get rid of the fucking grandmas and bring in a new stock?
Right. But I never claimed those things. You're strawmanning my argument.
Well, no, I'm asking you though, why not? Why, if you said that like that's really important is for us to, make babies. You made that a point. Then when we're done making babies, because we have a shelf life of making babies.
Right.
That's a big claim against feminism, is that, by the time a woman hits 30, 32,
35.
then she's into geriatric pregnancies. And so if
a
50
baby is
seconds,
born
guys.
after the 35th birthday, it's considered a geriatric pregnancy.
So in any event, like by the time she's 30, I mean, if you're not able to pump any more out, then what use are you to society? Be gone.
40 seconds. Get it in $5.
Well,
Sorry.
Are you saying that she's only given him one in that 30 years? I mean, good Lord, that's 12 years and you only get one?
No, you could pump out 10 for all I care. All I'm saying is when she's done and she hits that
that's 30 years. That's 30 years of child. That's 30 years of child rearing. Isn't she ready for that vacation?
Are you having babies for 30 years?
If you're having 10 between 18 and 30.
Okay, well,
that last one has to be 18 years old. There's 30 years.
But either way, by the time that 30 years is up, Grandma needs
Wouldn't
to go.
you be ready for that vacation, though? At that point, wouldn't you be ready for that vacation, Sarah?
We should. You know what? We should just send them all to we should send them all to.
You're gonna send them to Margarita Island?
Yeah, send them to Margarita Island. But really, realistically, like if a woman's use is only to rear children, then why do we still have grandmas lingering around for an extra 40 years? They're useless at that point.
She's the babysitter.
See, that's going through a human utilitarian.
Stop, because mom is at home doing her job, being a stay-at-home mom. She don't need no babysitter.
Right. No, I'm saying that whole position. That whole position is from a human utilitarian point of view. It doesn't look at what is grown with a family.
Isn't that
grandmas
the idea,
has a very, very specific role. Grandmas are grandmas.
Grandmas make the best cookies. Grandmas make the best cookies.
Grandma teaches mama.
If you have mama around, mama, can you all shut up a minute? You guys have 1 minute left to hit the grift again.
1 minute. Yep.
Seriously, like mom can make all of those cookies. Mom can do all of those jobs. Mom is a stay-at-home mom. That is her sole duty to society, is to be a stay-at-home mother and rear her children up into amazing growth. By the time she's done, why is she still around? Why not just find new stock?
There's a big reason for grandma to be around.
Right,
There's
Sarah.
a big reason for
even grandma's dusty old Dutch cookies in the tin are better than mom's homemade cookies. Am I wrong?
Oh, come on.
He's right.
Who do you think grandma gives that recipe to? 15 seconds, Grift, or go home.
Yeah, on her deathbed.
10 seconds. 10 seconds. Oh my
think
goodness.
about it. I mean, we turn over.
We're running out of time.
Hit the
karaoke stream on Grumple this Thursday.
5 more minutes.
Or
$5 more.
$5 going once. I know there's a little.
Oh no!
$5 going once.
There it is. Jason bought it
Got
up.
it.
Oh, Jason saving the day.
That's my last one.
Jason, you've been a trooper.
Thank you, Jason.
So,
I got deep pockets.
Just like turning over a job, right? Turning over a job's just the same. You have exactly 2 weeks to tell that next person everything that you know, right? Grandma can do the same thing. You have 2 weeks. You have 1 month. You have 3 years to tell your daughter everything that you know. Why not? Why not?
A grandma.
If a grandma.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You want me to say it or no?
Okay, go ahead. What's grandma do that's so
Sure.
special? Why should we keep grandma around?
All right. What a grandma can do that is so special is she is the one who saw the family come alive. She's the one who brings the family together. She's the one who strengthens the family. She's the one who has the knowledge of what happened. She is the one that can tell all the children what mom did. She's the one who can tell the mom how to raise the children. A grandma is irreplaceable. It's one of the rare ones. Keep them alive.
She's the
but why can't she pass down all of that information After her
Yeah.
babies are, all moved on and upward and going and all of those things, and the minute her first child has their first child, grandma passes that knowledge on, and we send grandma to some
It's
kind of
because
coal
this is not just knowledge. This is wisdom. This is something that goes on for a long time. This is something that strengthens you. You know that you were not the same today as you were then. You will always have things.
Why would grandma not do those things early on and share that knowledge early on?
Because
Why
it doesn't
does
work that
grandma
way.
have to wait until the end? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
I mean, especially
It doesn't go on.
if
It
she's a
doesn't have
good
to wait
mother,
until the end.
she's gonna teach her daughters all of that important cooking and sandwich making information pretty early on, right?
Oh, that's not what being a grandma is all
her daughter's
about.
whole focus growing up,
Yeah.
especially in her teenage years, as she's starting to learn how to become a woman. That's when her mom's job is the most important, and that's when mom now teaches her daughter everything that she needs to know, because in just a few short years she's going to get married and have babies on her own. And that's when grandma's job stops and mom's job continues. Real Robert Flowers with a big 20 says, Robert Flowers out of nowhere simply supported the Grift since neither Ryan or Duck are here for Robert Flowers to bash. I'm late to the party, but Rob dominating these panels takes the guilt away. Robert Flowers out.
Now, does he mean me dominating or him?
Yes,
we both share the name.
Not to what you said, Sarah. I know I gotta say that a grandma's job never ends. It never begins. It just is. So you can't really put it to a timestamp because
So why can't
Grandma's God? Grandma's God.
Why can't all of
Grandma is the family god. Yeah.
Why can't
Grandma is the family god.
The matriarchy rules. Then the matriarchy rules. If grandma is God,
no,
and she is
because this is the same for the grandpa.
Baseline,
No. Let's get into this.
Well, also the grandma's good
we
when the
got
mom
grandpa
gets sick
too.
and
You
help
forget
keeps the
that.
household going when the mom.
If family, then grandma. That's your.
You forget about grandpa.
Transcendental argument,
Sarah.
for grandma.
What about grandpa?
So I was lucky to be able to grow up where both grandparents lived in the same town, and by the time I was in 5th grade, my mom's parents moved next door to my dad's parents, so I had both grandparents sharing a fence. Okay,
rub it in, why don't you?
Right. When my dad
that's a flex.
when my paternal grandfather passed away 25 years before my maternal grandmother could still pull if your grandpa saw you doing that, and we would stop our shit instantly.
Let me ask you this.
Instantly.
What was the exact wording of the topic, to be a prick here for a second?
Is feminism good for society?
What if I said this? What if I said yes, because it's making society worse, which gives us an opportunity. Weak times create strong men. I say feminism has given us the chance to be strong men. What would the response to that be? 1 minute, chat.
1 minute,
in that
Grift,
context,
go
yeah.
home. I would even actually back that up to say that when men aren't needed, right? The reason why men aren't needed is because women just start doing. However, women are happy to take a back seat if we're solid and we're confirmed that the men know what they're doing. So I'll even say this: when I've dated, if I'm dating somebody, and I now call it the light bulb.
30 seconds, everyone. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Grift or go home. I call it the light bulb test. Like if I can just say I have a problem, right? Oh no, the light bulb went out. Oop, $5 came in from Jason. Jason is
15 seconds.
Jason, man.
If I can say, oh man, the light bulb went out, and the man just says, oh, let me go change that, and he gets his ladder and he changes the light bulb, life is good. But if I say, oh man,
how short is he that he needs a ladder?
Well, it depends on. I mean, I have some pretty tall. I say, oh man, the light bulb's out, and he's like, oh no, what are we gonna do? I've already cut it at that point, and I'm just grabbing the ladder myself and fixing the light bulb myself because it already tells me he is not a problem solver, and I might as well just do it myself because I can sit here and go back and forth on why we need to get the ladder. I can sit here and go back and forth on how many watts we need and which light bulb and whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And I just might as well just cut the mental limbo and do it myself.
So what if he's in the middle of doing something when you mention it? If he doesn't do it right exactly when you say it, what if he's in the middle of doing something when you mention it and he doesn't do it right then? But
yeah, what if he says, "I'll take care of it"? Just
that's all. Exactly. That's all I need to hear.
If he says, "I'll take care of it," then.
Okay. Now, if it's in a week, now we're running into a problem. But yeah, if he just says, "I'll take care of it," that means in my head, because women, we compartmentalize a lot differently. We have check boxes. Yeah. Okay. And it's like there's a million check boxes in a day. And to me, if you say, I'll take care of it, boop, checked off my list, out of mind, out of sight. I don't have to deal with it anymore. Right?
So Sarah, if there's a list of things that he's doing when it goes out and he says, all right, I'll get that at the bottom of the list. Are you willing to jump on any of the tasks on the list so that it can be completed faster?
40 seconds.
I will tell you, I already had the list completed 10 hours ago. I merely was giving you a kind gesture to allow you the space to be a man.
25 seconds.
Like, oh,
yeah. You're giving a good case for me driving out that way.
I'll say this on my dating profile. 10 seconds, Grifter, go home. I'll say this on my dating profile. It said, if I have more tools than you, it's not going to work. And that holds true. All right, we're at the 0 mark. Are we?
Was there one popping? Is there one popping?
One of them was for 20. Does that count for extra time, or is it individual?
We could do a one-time reprieve. I'm fine with that if everyone else is.
I'm gonna follow Rob's lead like a good girl.
Yeah, I think.
Yes, Rob, go.
We have to hold through it because people take advantage. If they're like, oh, they're full of shit, we don't have to donate, they'll keep going. Then these bastards take advantage of us. So, but I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Keep going.
It was just a test. I wanted to see if the chat was actually going to step up.
There you go.
I would fail.
Spiro, have I convinced you yet that women are okay with working and doing? Because we've always technically kind of worked.
I feel like you just
in
proved
more recent years.
Is better. You just proved
Why?
it. Though.
Why?
Because if the man changes the light bulb, you're happy to stick around. So patriarchy is the winner.
Oh, it's choppy.
Moment.
It's very choppy.
He asked if it's better for society. If we all sit around and wait for the man to change the light bulb, it's never getting changed.
No, it's the man that made the light bulb, so patriarch wins.
Well, if you bring...
He just added more shit onto my fucking list. Are you kidding me?
But you're presupposing. I mean, that's true. But the problem with that is that you just assume that most men are not going to pull their weight. But the idea behind it, there's an implied idea there where if the women do this, then the men also do that. That's the feedback cycle I pointed to. So you can't just take that away and go, well, then men get to sit back and do nothing, because that's not what I would advocate.
There is also the nagging thing.
Well, like, I mean, there's
woman
that.
Keeps nagging.
Yeah,
a man might just not do it because he did.
Probably what I sound like to everyone else.
Real Robert Flowers says, is Sarah talking about offing grandmas again? Every single time. She always does this. If Robert Flowers had a nickel. he could
you have something against grandmas?
Well, it wasn't offing them. Just sending them to a
Is this a thing? Is this a thing?
Look, I'm all for a man doing everything for me and me just having the ability to sit and be pretty, make him dinner, make him happy every day, all day. I'm all for it. However, we've run into an issue where men stopped doing, I guess, because women stopped needing. I know it's cyclical and it's, like feeds off of each other. However, if a man needs a woman to need him in order to be a purposeful man, then the fucking matriarchy wins at that. Like, you rely on a woman to need you in order to be productive in society? Fail. You're not a fucking man. And the problem we've run into today is men don't feel needed, or they don't feel purposeful, and they need a woman to need them in order to do so, instead of just, well, I'm going to be a fucking man and I'm just going to take care of shit myself.
Hey, Sarah, who raised those men?
I don't know.
Single mothers?
Maybe not.
Not always. Not always.
No, I will stand against that.
I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you.
1 minute.
But I will say, if there isn't a man,
Maybe men that were raised by single mothers too.
If there's a man,
I've interacted with plenty of men. I mean, we can run down my panel list alone, but plenty of men whose fathers are in the household.
Well, some of those panelists I really wouldn't call men.
Let's start with Ryan. Ryan has a perfectly good white picket fence family, and a lot of you would think that he is off the beaten path very far. So
have you ever seen his family? Have you ever seen the family? I just seen him with a dog.
Real quick, we got a donation from Otis Driftwood on Rumble for $5. So.
All right,
Thank you, Otis.
We're gonna keep going.
He says it's the primary role for women, if not the most important. It's the primary role for women, if not the most important. Reverse the idea to men. They stop supporting their family or society. I think it would destroy daily life.
Yeah.
Fair. Daily life.
So I agree with you, Sarah. I'll throw my age out there. Rob just turned 10 years younger than me.
Oh.
So I waited until my 30s to stop being one of those hip, cool male feminists. I was a degenerate motherfucker. Like, there's no question about it. The biggest problem is even those women really did not want long-term to be with someone who would allow them to take all that control. But then when the arguments got back to that, as soon as I started stepping up and taking and putting guidance into the relationship, all of a sudden I'm the toxic motherfucker, and they've got to leave.
Well, that's because you fucked up from the get-go. You set the pace from the beginning, right?
Well, exactly.
I spot you motherfuckers from a mile away.
Hey, like I said, I waited until my 30s to straighten my shit out, and I even got married once after that, but that siren was worse than any of the ones before.
45 seconds to donate $5.
$5, and we keep going, or we go home. Spiro, did I help you any?
No, I don't think you made the case. That I'm not convinced.
No, I don't think you made the case.
Because
I just don't think that sending grandmas to Margarita Island is a good solution to everything.
I tell Chad
20 seconds, guys.
Any day now to threaten it to get the right answer. That's not a good argument. Like it doesn't.
15.
Hold on. The sheer between the voice and the sheer obstinance. Are we sure that Sparrow is just not First Amender's alter ego?
10.
I can prove that I have a
There we go.
female voice right now. I am a man. Okay, and pretty soon you're gonna hear plot. All right.
All right. So let's talk about the.
You got 3 rapid fire.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
4.
All right. I'll wait 30 seconds and I'll keep reapplying.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
There's no way people want to keep hearing this. Come on.
Listen, can I take it in a slightly different direction?
Yeah.
I think me and Sarah, we're a team here tonight. So let me ask you this, Spiro, or anyone else that wants to answer it is a brief way. When you say what is good for society, ultimately, how are we judging the term good? Like, I would say that if you're looking at this through a Christian perspective, then what's good for society is giving people the opportunity to live their life through Christ. Anyone disagree? Anyone have a different moral framework for how they would want to look at this?
I
agree with you.
That's part of it.
I'll argue it.
Wait, if we're going to go from a biblical perspective, then you have to go to like Genesis, where it says the husband's supposed to have authority over his wife, and she will seek to control him.
That's fair. That's fine. But my argument would be this, that much like religion would be sort of meaningless, or our walk with God would be meaningless if God just gave us a buffet of everything we would ever need, and therefore life wouldn't be challenging. Feminism has done the same thing. It has made it so that the strong and Christian men meet with the strong and Christian women, despite the fact that our secular world tells us through materialism that everything should go the opposite direction, and we should embrace sort of gender roles being separated. Now we have the opportunity to shine through and prove our faith in God by rejecting modernity and rejecting materialism, which we would have never had that ability had feminism not came about.
You'd have to prove that works, because the divorce rate in the church is about the same as it is in the secular world, which means that it is working.
I do have an argument.
Which church though?
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to look at the.
But that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant to us, the individuals. Society, we would say it would be preferable if it gives us, the individual, the chance to prove ourselves through God, right?
Rob,
and so even though most people fail in that endeavor, in fact, maybe more people fail post-modernity and post-feminism than previously, it still gives us, the great people, all of us awesome people on this panel, the chance to prove ourselves. Right?
I do have.
People do want to hear this White History Month.
Wait. Just a second, okay?
Jesse Lee Peterson, hell yeah. All right, so I'll argue it as someone who now identifies as a man, but in the late '90s identified as a lesbian. I'm more than happy to take the opposition there.
Wait, from the Christian perspective, when you say that, wouldn't you be saying the same thing as it's better to sin, because that would be the way that you can go ahead and show the grace of God? The more the sin, the more grace there is?
No.
No, I'm not saying that. As an individual, we shouldn't embrace the precepts of feminism and we shouldn't sin. However, because feminism has showed the true colors of what our earthliness is, it allows the rest of us to show through. Much like the test of Job, we have the ability to survive through this test of materialism that all of society pushes us to, where if life was easy, if feminism didn't exist and the material value that we've increased as technologies increased existed, then what would truly our test be? It would be
but
easy
showing
then
it, but showing it would mean.
When did Job know that he was tested?
I would say, I don't know. That's a good question. I would say that it was irrelevant to him that he was tested.
Well, his wife and his 3 friends, I believe, kind of hinted that to him.
Now, at the
so
end
very
of the
late,
book,
right?
Near
Very late. Very late. So we don't really know if we're tested or not. We just have to do what's right?
We're always tested.
If we're tested. Yeah, exactly. We're always tested, but not like that. Not like Job.
I know the answer to this one, Sarah. But you go ahead. This offer was given to me last night from our friend here. In the
35 seconds.
Stepfire has been a panelist here, actually. He's debated here. Sends in a big 20, says, I'll send another 20 if you say my name right, Sarah. Yes, Stepfire, I got you. We got this.
That's because I called him Stepfur. So he offered that last night to me, and I nailed it. Because then I was like, oh shit, I must be pronouncing this wrong.
Calling a Stepford wife over here.
Breeze or ease. Stepfur. Essentially, the Bible also kind of demands that the man 110% takes care of his woman, and she shouldn't be under any type of duress, and she should be treated like a precious gem and so on and so forth. And I think that's where women said, no, because you weren't treating us like precious gems.
No,
that sounds like website, which, by the way, is a real website that I own. I bought that after Andrew tweeted that. You can go to that website right now, and I have a series of 4 things right now. I made it thefckup.com. That's my website, so send it to me. That sounds like it came from there, Sarah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clip you saying that, and I'm going to post it on my website.
Oh,
nice. So, but where women have dropped the ball with that one, Sarah, is that they cannot expect that the man is able to block every and all adversity from the world from hitting them, especially if they are going to be putting themselves out in the world. We can only actually handle what we have in our space as a man.
Stepfire says with the big 20. Sarah also called me Stepfire 3. Yeah, I did. Sometimes when I'm just reading, I'm in monkey mode, like automated mode. Brain's not calculating, but yes.
Has a cool name, has a cool avatar, and everybody's messing up his name.
Yeah,
I know, we're all fucking it up. So I mean, we could start. We could even look at, how many men aren't paying child support and taking care of their children. How many men don't do the right thing and marry the woman they knock up. How many men are, women have. We've been through a lot in a lot of different ways, and a lot of you are not aware of what it's like to be a woman. It sucks. It's 11 seconds, 10 seconds.
No, Stepfire. We didn't reset after Stepfire sent that in.
Sorry.
So we're
Never
still
mind.
good.
See, Rob's keeping me on track.
Isn't it
Thanks,
most
Rob.
women
Can I ask you a question?
no-fault divorces, though?
Real quick.
Peace.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Rob, I have a question. This is running on my mind for a long time. I think Marte would actually enjoy to know your reply to this as well. After my last debate with you, where you absolutely took control of the conversation, how am I supposed to be your partner when I cannot actually say much in the debate?
So
do you have any?
I was your partner.
Do you have any
at one
advice?
point?
Oh yeah, during verbal combat, you won that.
Oh
shit!
Shit!
No,
So-
I think I saw that.
That's right, Emmett. I apologize. Yeah, it's bullshit, right? It's you have to get your offense. And the problem is, I'm a very bad partner for that very reason, because I talk a lot. And it's absolute bullshit. You just have to be more demanding to get your shit in, and just be like, no, okay, be quiet. I want to make my point. The problem is, some prick like me that's so used to debating one-on-one, when you put me in an open panel setting, I have these like thought processes that I'm going, most of my argumentations are regimented. So I'll say, Sparrow, what about this? And he'll answer, and I'll go, but doesn't that lead to this? It's hard to do that when you have more than one person on each side. But I'm like an insensitive prick, and I keep pushing the issue. So I apologize for that. Yeah, it's difficult in that world. And I should know better. I had a actual collegiate debate where this happened, where I won a tournament. My partner was much weaker than me, for real. He would admit it. And I won the finals of this tournament. And this judge that I ended up really respecting afterwards called me every name that you could imagine. Like, you conceited motherfucking prick, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit if it comes to winning the round or not. You should never treat a partner like that. And it was actually a good moment in that sort of debate style. But I need to adjust better to a panel setting or a 2-on-2 setting. That's sort of the other problem with that setting was that there's a time frame in it, right? So it's like you have 5 minutes, there's 4 of you. And I don't think they should have kicked 2 people. I think they should have kicked 1 person from the losing side. Yeah. That would be my recommendation for that.
Did you see the debate with Andrew and Marte?
Yes,
Monday?
yes.
What do you think about that one? Because pretty much the same thing happened to Marte, and I think he's a pretty cool guy, but I think pretty much the same thing happened.
Yeah, it does. I think that
Well, Marte made a great comment though about that. He said basically, if Michael Jordan's playing, you don't get in his way.
Yeah,
like, just
I agree.
My feeling is 40 seconds. By the way, so everybody, we need $5 to reset the timer. My guess would be that Marte probably would have taken the debate in a slightly different direction. So oftentimes what happens is when you have one person that's taking it in a direction and getting headway, then you step back. I've had those debates even in online spaces where my partner's rocking, so I
20
just step
seconds.
back. But yeah, I mean, definitely Andrew dominated that debate.
He always does.
Yeah. Not always.
Well, here's the thing: like, if you're going to be partners with like Andrew
5
or
seconds.
Or Rob or even like Jim Bob, you gotta know they're gonna take control in that debate. Like,
yes.
Let me check my other. Otis Stripwood gave $5 on Rumble. Says keep it going.
Keep it going.
Like you guys, I mean, you guys are like professional debaters. You guys are good at what you do. I mean, you just got to realize that especially with Andrew. I feel bad for any partner of Andrew's because that person's just gonna be sitting in the back most of the time.
You don't, when your partner is so strong and so dominant as a debate partner, and you're the weaker party, or even just the less aggressive party, you're gonna get sidelined a bit. It's just gonna happen.
That's why
good exposure though, at least, right?
the regimented formulaic aspect of like college debate was each partner had to speak an equal amount of time. Now, when it came to the strategy or when it came to answering questions in cross-ex, either partner could do it. But in general, the fact that each partner must speak the same amount of time, I think helps equalize out that. So it definitely is. I did a debate with Andrew once. We debated Sean Last and JF Gary Epi, and it just naturally flowed that none of us had to bring this up, that we each spoke like 3 minutes, then went to the next, then back to my side with Andrew this time, and then the opponent, and we just kept that pattern going. And what it ended up happening was Andrew and Sean were basically having an argument, and me and JF were having an argument. So it was about equal time, but you still followed that chain of thought, because otherwise what happens is me and Spiro are having a spirited debate on a particular thing, and Norwegian Dan's like, wait a minute, I got something that I want to get in, but then Grumpelstiltskin's like, wait, I want to respond to Dan, and then Abe's like, I want to respond to Dan as well, and then Emmett, you're like, I also want to respond to Dan, and then suddenly what me and Spiro were talking about completely irrelevant at this point, because we've moved on, and it's no one's fault. It's the nature of when you get a lot of chefs into the kitchen. That's why when you try to make these panels, like this is an open panel, but when you try to make these panels, you're always saying, okay, I want two people, you want equal strength on either side of the panel to the best of your ability. Seconds. And then you want big talkers, and then you're filling in with people that talk less. So someone like Evan is very useful in setting up a panel because he's going to make a good point in like 3 minutes. Whereas someone like me, I might be a good debater, but I'm going to talk for 40 minutes. And so you can't have 6 people like me. It just wouldn't work. Justin Martin's got
Hey Justin.
This is why Andrew and Rob should do more debates together. Yeah, but who's gonna step down sometimes? That's the hard part is and that's why like I have my strong debaters, I have my noisemakers, and then I have my grounders. And having a grounder on each side is very vital because a grounder is vital to the conversation, even if their job is to not say much. But also you want them to be a person who's able to rationalize and look at things from a outside perspective and then bring the conversation back around. It's very like when I select a 4-person panel and I am choosing those 4 people, I'm very particular with who I put on each side and why. Now, when they come together on their own and they're like, hey, Sarah, we want to debate, these other 2 people, XYZ. I'm not in control of that, but obviously I'll still host it because I'm like, oh, yeah, that's fine. You guys put it together. I'll happy to oblige. But like I already know going into that, it's either going to be a really slow debate with nothing going on or a really crazy one, or, I hope and pray there's a balance in the middle. But yeah, it's very vital to choose your panelists wisely.
Yeah, it is like for me, like let me give you an example. Like Grumpelstiltskin's on the open panel with me the other night, and we're talking about let me think if I can think of this. By the way, 1 minute. Oh wait, Nate.
Well, how long just sent in 5, said thanks for the fun heading into a canyon. Thanks for hanging out with us, Nate. We appreciate you.
So I have this, like, when I'm thinking of a debate, to make this as quick as possible, I'm always thinking at the end, the argument I want to be making at the end, and how to get to that argument from a middle and then beginning section. So I'm having this meta discussion in an open panel about the classified documents that Donald Trump had versus Joe Biden. And Grumpelstiltskin makes an excellent argument, which is Joe Biden was senator and vice president. The rules allowing them to mishandle classified documents are far different than the president. There's a solid legal argument to be had that the president could declassify anything by merely stating that it's declassified in the moment. I'm trying to win the debate without that argument, though. And so my argument is, but wait a minute, like, we know that Joe Biden himself said this is probably classified and all that document would be classified and he would know that, and yet he still at one point read that out. Therefore, he read classified information. So if you condemn Trump for that, Biden did it even more blatantly. Grumpel's making a separate but equally effective argument, right? But both of us, that debate goes in a vastly different direction depending on which one of us make that argument. So from my perspective, it's frustrating frustrating for me because I'm like, my ultimate goal was to get to this argument. And Grumple's not wrong. He's not even arguing less effectively than me. His goal is to talk about this other argument that's equally important. And so then it just becomes a situation where it's like, not only are us two trying to defend this one point in two different ways, but then there's two people on the other side that are trying to make the argument in two different ways. And so I'm a bad person for panels because
1 minute.
I fucking forget that other people, well, it's not that I forget, I'm arrogant and conceited. I'm like, yes, I'm crushing this argument. I don't need someone else taking it in a different direction. But it's not that anyone's wrong. It's that I'm a loudmouth and I'm used to talking a lot and used to debating.
That is also an important feature. And we got 30 seconds left. Grifter, go home. That's also an important feature for if you're going to team up with somebody, talk to them before you start your debate. Like, just reach out, have a 30-minute conversation on what direction you want to get. I've had people show up and they hadn't even connected with one another. They don't even know each other. And they're just like, oh, yeah, I'm here. And I'm like, you guys didn't talk.
10 seconds.
10 seconds, Grifter, go home. And, you know, that's an important way to go so that you can have at least a plan or an agenda of which direction you want to take that debate. We're down to 0 seconds. I'll give you just a little bit. Grifter, go home. I mean, I'm kind of getting tired anyways. It's 3:15 in the morning.
Believe it or not, I've been talking to a YouTube rep for the last 45 minutes while we've been doing this.
That's fair.
But looks like no resolution tonight for me. They said it'll take at least 24 hours. But the lady was very nice. I was chatting with her, and she's just basically like, you know, I can't make any decisions like this. But yeah, it seems like it was probably a mistake. But you know, whatever. It'll work out.
At least it worked out that we already planned on the Grift stream. We already planned it on splitting everything. So it was the perfect night for something like that to happen, right?
Agreed.
So that works out, and I'm glad. Did they reach out to you on Twitter or something? How did they?
No, I actually had to look this up like on AI. I was like, how would I contact like a person? So I was able to find the steps that you go through to contact a person, and then through the help center, the YouTube help center, and then you have to put your channel URL, the date that it occurred, a brief explanation, and then it brought up like someone chatting, which may be a chat bot for all I know, Spiro. But if so, it's a very nice one.
Nice. It probably is AI.
Yeah,
it's grandma.
Well, let's go ahead with our final thoughts around, since the Grift did not continue, which, I mean, all good things come to an end, right?
3:15. I think that's pretty damn good. People kept going.
I'm impressed.
My guess is
that at 1.
Between your super chats on here, the couple that we may have got on, I didn't get any on Cash App or PayPal that I saw, but you may have got a couple, and then the ones I got in Rumble. My guess is we received at least 200 total donations, which the money itself, the amount you get is one thing, but to see that many people give that many individual donations is always like inspiring, that because it's one thing if someone's just like, here's $5,000, but to see so many different people donate, I think that's a really cool thing.
I can give you a number on how many super chats we received. It was 162 on YouTube.
Well,
162 super
I'm
chats.
getting 181, but that's because some of them would be gifted memberships. So I would count that as well. So according to me, it's 181 on YouTube between super chats and gifted memberships. And then whatever I got in my Rumble, which I can't see, and then anything we got in Cash App, I bet we got to at least 200, which is pretty damn good.
That's damn respectable.
Yeah. I'd say 162 then. Where are you looking at your number?
I'm looking at StreamYard under the comments and then starred.
Yeah, mine says 162.
Oh, mine says 181. I wonder why.
Mine says 179.
I don't know.
That's even more weird.
Wow, let's go. More shenanigans. YouTube deciding it's like, yeah, we're just gonna poke this guy with a hot poker tonight as we go.
Sometimes there's a line.
Mine says 122,
You know what?
not to throw a wrench into the works, but I got
Well,
here.
that might be.
Yeah,
You know what? I wonder if mine kicked out when.
Did mine count some on the like 5 minutes before you joined me? And I might have got like, well, I didn't get no fucking 19
You know what?
super chance, you know?
You know what? I did remove yours since it kicked out, and I'm not seeing any additional. Can you see them on your end?
I don't
weird.
know. It doesn't matter. Right, we'll figure out the
This
tallies
is
and everything. It's
bookkeeping
irrelevant.
now. Come on, guys.
Come on,
Yeah.
Cyril, this is going to be the
But-
stream for the rest of the night. We're talking
Yeah.
about this. Deal with it, man. Everybody wants to hear this.
Yes.
The point is, you people are very generous. That's it.
Yes.
That's the point.
And Zachary sends in the final two to say this to mess up your math. All right, here's what we're going to do. Matriarchy or patriarchy, okay? Tomatoes in the chat if you think the matriarchy won. Eggplants in the chat if you think the patriarchy won. I think that's a fair vegetable
That's fair.
mix there. All right. Yeah, I did get booted out, so that might have messed with the count, but I mean it was a fast boot, so I don't know. And while they are tallying up their votes or dropping their tomatoes or eggplants in, Jason Cassell, would you like to start with your final thoughts?
Yeah, it was a good time. I think you guys should do something like this again. I think it worked out pretty well. But yeah, I would have kept on going, but I'm getting tired, so I would have kept on doing it. But
it's fair.
I'm falling asleep.
I think you've done your duty, sir.
I did my duty as a man.
You.
I did my patriarchal duty.
That's right.
I'm not seeing tomatoes or eggplants. They're dropping hot dogs and jalapenos and like I don't even fucking know. Peanuts, potatoes.
This is a bunch of
eggs.
eggplants.
Fair enough. All right, Grumple to you.
Oh yes. Oh, they're not showing up in StreamYard, but they are on your chat. Just FYI on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of eggplants. Okay, so Rob, I think just final thoughts. Rob, I think that was on an open panel, so yeah, there wasn't any coordinating beforehand on an open panel, so like it's unfortunate. So we're not going to necessarily be exactly on the same page in that. So yeah, Grumpelstiltskin, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Twitter, karaoke stream this Thursday, most likely. Check my Twitter or Discord for when we get started. It's going to be a good time. I've got
Do you
good
take
feedback
guests?
from. Yes.
Like,
Oh yeah.
do
That's the thing. Yeah. No. That's the thing. It's. I'll guest. It's just like karaoke. I will participate, but it's mostly going to be guests. Come on up. You gotta bring your own song and present it so it's not out of sync. But that's going to be a thing this Thursday. And I've not got DMCA'd one time except for AC/DC. So don't do AC/DC. Or if you want to, that's fine. I'll just cut it out on the video after. No biggie.
Can I give you just one advice? One little advice. Don't bring
What's that,
Cecil. Just don't bring Cecil. Please. That's the only advice I have.
His Louisiana internet, we're not going to do that same thing the next time. If he wants to, he'll have to do his own and present it. But his Louisiana swamp internet is not. I can't we can't fix that. You have to do it. There's going to be a rule. You have to present your own karaoke song, and it doesn't even have to be a karaoke version. You can sing along with just something that you want to, and it'll be cool.
Okay.
It's a good time.
Sounds cool.
We can dance if you want to. We can leave this world behind. Norwegian Dan to you, sir.
Yes. No, I appreciate the time. I came from a 8-hour fishing trip, so I'm kind of out of it. But I really enjoyed my little time here with you. And if you're unsure of what to post of eggplants or tomatoes, you can just post a burrito. That will also be a patriarchy.
Same difference.
That's all I have to say.
It's like both. Sandwiches and
All right, burritos or hot dogs?
Burritos.
Tacos or hot dogs?
Yeah. Well, you know. But that's all I have to say.
Fair enough. Emmett to you, sir.
Thanks so much for having me on, Sarah, as always. Thank you, Rob, for answering my question. Spiro, you are a better Ryan than Ryan. That was amazing. I'm just gonna say it. I don't know. This was a great stream. Thank you all for having me, and be seeing you hopefully. Oh, best wish, happy birthday, Rob! Obviously,
Thank
and
you.
I hope your channel gets back to you real quick.
Thank you. Means a lot. And sorry that I on our little 2-on-2 verbal combat thing that I dominated that time. I'm sorry.
You didn't let him talk, Rob. How dare you?
No. I was more asking for like advice, in the future. Like, what can I do? And it was like nothing. Perfect.
To be fair,
just tell him to shut the fuck up.
To be fair, Rob was spitting fire though in that.
That was a great
too. Yeah. Just ripped up the other team like they weren't there.
Well, thank you.
Fair enough, Mr. Dinkus. To you.
Well, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun, Rob. Globalism.
We're giving the rationale for interventionism, even though neither of us believe in it. Good stuff.
That's true. Well, I had to argue it with EOD, and it was kind of a fun thing because it was, should America be the policeman of the world? And I said, you know what? Yes, and I'll take it one step further. We should just own the whole thing. So then I figured, why not do that same thing with Rob and see how he took it? But
American Nacho is a guy I don't know if you guys know him. I saw him put on X with the bombing of Iran. He's like, yeah, I'm for this if this is just America.
Oh, it's been a minute.
Just letting their fucking thing hang out and be like, fuck you. We'll do what we want now. He's like, that I'd be for. But if it's just listening to Israel, then no, we're not for that. So, but it's, that's sort of getting in line with what you're saying. If America just wants to be like, you know what, we'll do what we please now. How about that? No.
Yep. And there is a difference. So anyway, come visit me at Abe Dinkus. We do chats, we do debates, we do fun, we do whatever. So
thank you, Mr. Dinkus. Spyro, to you, sir.
Well, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. It's incredible to be here, and I hope you come back more. Today was literally the first time I debated anything outside of tech stuff. I have my own channel. I do daily tech news and cover video games and stuff like that. So I was just doing it for fun. The fact that I did the Russian collusion thing in approximately 3 hours overall, better than Ryan Coder. If that's true, that's really sad. That's so sad.
It is true. It is true.
I won it. I was doing it for fun, just to fill time and have a fun debate with Rob, because I know he loves that stuff, right? And it's his birthday, so I thought, what if he actually came up with what if he actually had a real challenge?
Happy birthday, Rob.
All right, so that was good. I appreciate it though. Come check me out. I multi-stream to all the places. I'm on X. You go to my website and see me and all that. Thanks for having me on, Sarah. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You're most welcome. The name of your channel?
The name of my channel is at Spiro Floropoulos on YouTube, which is just the last name there. You can X my name as well and put it in there, and you can go to spirofloropoulos.com as well, and all the links are there too. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Spiro's fun. I like him and his girly voice. And before Rob goes, Hall Long Nate sent in the big 20. Says, Spiro, you're a good dude.
Thanks, Hall.
Looking forward to seeing you more. Yes, me as well, Spiro. I will agree with that. Sarah, want a week-long ride-along? I have an extra bink. No, I hate driving. I spend way too much time driving on a daily basis. I'm fucking tired of driving. I never want to be in a car again. If my life,
come on, Sarah, it's been 5 years for this guy.
Around not driving or being in a car for even a matter of 10 minutes, I would be a happy tomato once again. I don't ever want to get in a fucking car, let alone a truck. But thank you for the invitation. Mr. Rob Noor, to you, sir.
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I was telling Sarah the other day, I think that Sarah is my favorite channel to come on because usually it means debating. And I think she's the best moderator and the best panel host out there. So I always enjoy working with Sarah. She's always very generous after she's done streaming when she raids. And so that's sort of where we came up with the idea. Sort of like a little friendly competition that we dupe everyone into think we're competing with each other, but really we're splitting the money. Great idea. It's brilliant. It's like that old conspiracy that Coke and Pepsi are owned by the same dudes, right? But you offer the alternative. That way you're raking in the cash. That was the impetus for all this. So I think it went went very well, all things aside for the stupid little hiccup at the beginning, and I do apologize to the audience for that. No one wants to hear about the troubles of like, oh shit, my channel just got struck down, so I apologize for that. But yes, I would love to do it again. Everyone was incredibly generous. It really means a lot. I can't get over how nice people are. Again, like I'm saying, we probably had around 200 total donations tonight. I have no idea what the total money was, but it really does mean a lot for people to be out there that want to participate. Even if you're not donating money or in the chat, people are jumping in, like the panels and shit. Like, it's really amazing that we have a community here of like-minded people, even if we don't agree on everything politically or culturally, that are enjoying this and coming together to show enjoyment for it. So I couldn't be more honored to be part of this, and hopefully we could do shit like this in the future, and I look forward to seeing you all. Hopefully on my YouTube channel that'll be back soon. So.
And you had every right to spend the first half hour going through the hokey pokey of, oh shit, my channel's shut down. I would have done the same. I probably would have bitched longer considering I'm a woman. And actually you would have heard me bitch probably through the entirety of the stream because, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. So I give you credit because you eventually stopped and moved on, but I would have been perfectly okay. We spent the entire stream debating the idea about a stream getting shut down. It's horse shit. So thank you. Right. Yeah, no, thank you everyone for coming in and supporting our Grift stream. I think Rob is a fun collaborator. I find that we'll probably be doing more stuff in the future, and we're so conveniently located both on the East Coast. We're both up at 3:30 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, here bringing this great material to you. And I like it because Rob does most of the talking, so I can just sit and be cute and look pretty.
Not that last half, though, like the last 40 minutes, you were debating and running the timer and running the super chat. Just like,
well, you look like you needed a break. You were getting your YouTube stuff cranked out and getting that sorted through. So when you tapped me and I was like, all right, Rob wants to take a break and actually, take a breath and breathe for a couple minutes. So I'm happy to oblige and I'm happy to have fun with it. And I hope that we can do some more fun stuff like this in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy that Rob and I are sharing this stream. We're sharing the funds that you sent in. So continue the grift. The grift must always continue. I think Andrew wants to do something Monday night. We'll see. It's not locked in yet. But outside of that, I'm taking the fucking weekend. No, I'm not taking the weekend off. We'll be back here July 5th. Saturday night, we got a debate. Stephen Kent versus RTP Talks. And of course, we'll be going into open panel. I believe that debate is about something to do with Trump or immigration. I think it's the immigration policy. So that open panel is going to be lit. Make sure you're first to be here. Outside of that, fuck off.
Generally, you said feminism was here's what actually happened. The foundation of all knowledge.
I'm really mad that
what difference does it make, right? What
Stop.
The deregulation of the industry is obviously going to cause more of that industry.
And to lubricate the trust connection between people until they have enough.
Yet we could still look at biological reality in determining who's a female, even if there are.
Why don't you denounce feminism the same way you're denouncing capitalism? If you don't...
For something to be objective, it needs to be verifiable. And you can't verify...
If I make a claim as a political pundit, it is true that I definitely could be wrong. That you're promoting, right?
Ideology is the main tenet of politics, right? This is my ideology. So 2015, anyone go back and watch the footage? The first GOP debate.
Robert, they dead? With a crowbar, you say?